What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I am one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer, Nick Scarpino.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
The pure one, Tim Geddes.
Let Tim host.
He's beautiful.
The pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty.
Beyond.
Whoa. Oh, and he just hit his face on the mic. It looked like.
Those my glasses.
That's why you wear them, right? For protection.
Yeah.
And then none other, the naughty dog himself, David Ballard.
Naughty?
Yeah.
I feel like your mic might be a little high. Did we not adjust you before this?
It's right where we want it. We want it eye level. We want it eye level for David Ballard. You can
High.
twist
I think
this
we want it
thing
to come
here.
down a little bit.
Twist this
Let's have him
motherfucker
down a
right
little.
there.
like
Shove
this,
it
like
wherever
this,
you
like
want.
this.
Like that? Is that better?
That's good.
Okay.
That's
You don't have to,
fantastic.
you look like you're craning your neck.
Hey,
You
what's
don't have
up?
to
Yeah,
so you
okay.
don't want
That's
to do that.
good.
You want to get right in front of it. Like
Have
this.
bad, scoliosis kind of, posture and get right into that.
There we
mic
go.
Right
I knew
into
someone
it.
with scoliosis.
What's wrong with scoliosis?
I know people with scoliosis.
You know people with scoliosis.
Yeah.
Remember
Game developers.
Remember in school when you have to go do that test? They put you in the
gym
room
teacher.
where-
Oh, God, that was the worst because they make you take your shirt off. And anytime during school that I had to take my shirt off, I was not happy. I was not a happy camper.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It was junior high.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah. They
Even
brought
though
up
as an adult.
What happened was they did the scoliosis test and they were like, I was like, oh, I gotta take my shirt off for this. I'm not really happy about that. Then I had this amazing excitement when I realized that it was behind closed doors. Like you didn't have to do it in front of the
And then
entire
you're just
school.
like, oh, pants off, whatever.
Oh, then I was like,
You're
nurse.
eating a donut while
I'll tell you what
taking the
ails
test.
me.
I remember.
Tell you what ails me?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Do you remember? Did you guys ever have to climb ropes in gym before?
I never did that.
They wouldn't let us. I think that was a thing of yesteryear.
Well, yeah, because I was gonna say I remember watching Wonder Years and there was a big
Mm-hmm.
episode about that, right? And then I was so horrified going to high school and having to climb the rope. It never happened.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in grade school, they had the rope there, but it was like one of those choose your own adventure. You want to try the rope? Go try the rope. No big deal if you don't. So,
They wouldn't let us.
Break a leg.
Well,
There was a strict no rope rule.
Get in there. Everyone's
I was way
dipping
down.
and
I'm right
dodging
here.
with the mics today.
I was right here. It was fine when it was over there. Now you're moving over here.
Okay.
You always want
All
me
right.
talking right to the Audio Technica. You moved to the Audio Technica. There it is. That's
Ka.
fine. Oh, thank you. If you could hold that right. If you've never seen the Game Over Greggy show or listened to it, the idea is simple. Once a week, 4 best friends, this time 5, get together and each of them brings a random topic to the table for discussion. Then we post the high quality MP3 for $1 on Bandcamp Friday, then on YouTube for free every Monday. GameOverGreggy.com we call it. It's easy to get to. Who's going to go first this week? I'm going to go first. Sorry.
You're gonna go first.
We have it's all fun and games here. We got the dog, we got Ballard. I guess do we need
The
to
same
let Ballard
thing.
explain himself, who he is? What's he doing?
Yeah, we should do that probably.
Make
They
video
found
games.
me on the street outside
Yeah.
their house and like, hey, you want to come up and shoot this podcast? And I was like, I don't know. I'm just sure.
That's how it was?
Yeah.
Okay. You make video games too.
I make video games too.
That's your job. That's a cool job to have.
It is.
David Ballard worked on Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception,
Better Uncharted.
and The Last of Us.
Tim, hand me that mic.
Very
Best
modest.
Last of Us, the
Greg's
best
mic.
Last of
Greg
Us.
mic's doing some weird. Hold on.
My mic's doing something
Yeah,
weird?
it's doing some weird. I
What's
don't
weird?
like it.
Well, this
Let's
is Greg's
unplug
mic.
this.
This is Greg's normal
Alright,
mic.
Vamp.
We're vamping. We're
Vamp.
doing stuff.
The Last of Us was the
Sorry,
last
everyone.
of the games I shipped.
Yep.
Yeah.
For now.
Who's the
This is better?
naughtiest
Yeah, it's way
of the
better.
naughty dogs?
Cogburn. Son of a
Cogburn is a naughty. Yeah, that's for sure.
And
Sorry
by the way,
about that. It's fine,
feel
everyone.
free to help yourself to the liquor back here if you'd like. We also have.
Can I have all of it or?
Tim,
You can have as much as you
can you give me
want.
an ice cube?
Before we get started on that, we have a very important job tonight. Okay? It's all fun and games here. We had Lex
What do you
Luthor on.
have?
We had Lex Luthor on last time. We got David
Maybe
Ballard
3
on
ice
this time.
cubes. Can I get more than that?
Nick over here shadow boxes. Tim talks about the time he had to poop. The Game Over Greggy show has been tasked with something incredibly serious tonight. This comes from Eric Castro. He runs a fine establishment in San Diego called Polite Provisions. It is a bar. You should all go there. If you've been to San Francisco, it's like Rick House. It's fancy cocktails, fancy drinks.
He turned me on to Eagle Rare.
Exactly. He sent that up to us. He's very good about sending us stuff in general, much like tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, at Polite Provisions, they serve all manner of fancy drinks. They have private barrels there, shipped to them straight from distilleries that are big deals, I guess. I don't know. Probably more expensive
Should
than
I
I
have
could
not
ever do.
poured myself Knob Creek here?
No, it doesn't matter. This is why I had you buy the solo cups. See what I'm doing here? What is happening is they keep about 7 of these at any given moment on tap for their high spenders. They're big people who come in and get the fanciest of fancy drinks. He has sent us samples. We are going to pick the next private barrel he has at Polite Provisions in San Diego, 4696 30th Street, on Twitter, Polite San Diego. Here comes his letter. I've highlighted the good parts because he writes too much. We're going to be drinking Henry McKenna single barrel 10-year bourbon. That's what we have here. We have several things. Gents,
The Pride of Kentucky.
these samples are uncut barrel strength right now.
Oh, you know I love uncut.
So the alcohol by volume on them is very high.
Oh,
In
dear.
fact, they are too strong to get a proper taste of them. So it is recommended that you hit them with some water. Well, I brought that jar of water into the room. so that they open up a bit. Just don't use ice. That inhibits the aroma and will make it tougher to pick out the one you like. Remember, we are not looking for smooth. We are looking for character. So keep your senses tuned for things that everyone loves about bourbon. These are going to be used for mostly fancy old fashions. It has to be good enough to hold its own, though, without relying on juice and mixers. So we have a few to try here. How many we got?
Okay.
And we want to do this first
We-
with uncut.
5. We have the
bourbon.
water. Well, I mean, what do you want to do? You want to drink for a while and then drink these and see what's the fancy?
There's no good way.
So here's the water we'll cut it with.
I seriously want this podcast to end with all of us on the floor and like the videotape is just going for hours before we wake up.
That's probably gonna happen.
I mean, even
I
regardless
shouldn't have poured
of
myself
this.
knob yet. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I had no way to break it to you.
Portillo keeps like ducking and diving in between my feet.
Portillo, go.
It's exciting.
He likes it.
Be gone.
He's fine. He's
Asked him
okay.
last week where he was.
Go to bed.
He's right here. He's here.
He's right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Right here.
All right, so we have
Oh, they look like old timey medicine you see in like the
super cool.
West.
Yeah. Henry McKinnis Singleware. There's no special names to him. This one is 129.2 alcohol by volume.
Let me smell this before I ingest
This one
it in
is
my body.
115.6. This guy is 160 proof.
Now, Greg, not that I don't have any faith in you.
125 proof. Yeah.
It's just that, have you checked this out yet?
No.
So you don't know if this person's real or if they've.
Oh,
seen us
no,
in
no,
a
no,
bottle.
no, no, I'm sorry. No.
We know him.
Oh, you know him. Okay.
Eric
He sent
Castro.
that bottle at Eagle Red us.
Eric
It's
Castro.
all poison,
okay.
literally poison.
Eric Castro is a fine young gentleman. He
I'm just-
worked for a long time in San Francisco,
Okay.
ran Rick House,
Oh,
big
okay.
IGN fan, sent me all that gin that used to float around the
Yeah,
office.
yeah.
Then he sent up a whiskey package when I got cancer. He's a good
Okay.
dude. Here are Polite as Fuck. That is their
love
sticker
it.
for
Love
Polite
it.
Provisions,
Oh,
San Diego. Oh, yeah, we got a whole
That's
bunch here.
fun.
Don't worry. Since 2012. All right.
Awesome.
Put a couple of those up.
Yeah, so let's get going. Well, how many we got? We got 5, 6?
All right.
I was born in San Diego, so can I be the pride of San Diego
Yeah.
for the rest of the night?
Sure.
Yeah, you
Okay.
absolutely can.
You want to sell
The,
out?
pri-
you know,
the
where
La
you're-
Jolla kid? Can I call
Just
you the La Jolla kid?
So what do we want to do? I'll let you handle it from here, Greg. I'm gonna take our glasses and get them out of here for a minute.
Tim, I'm
Yours
assuming
over
you're the
here.
pure one. You're not drinking.
I'm the pure one, yeah.
All right.
You're not gonna drink any of this?
You know what? Actually,
Whoa!
I'm doing it for the stro,
Whoa!
as I would
For the
call him.
scrub?
Yeah, but you
The
couldn't.
stro. Castro.
What's the straw?
Oh,
We'll call
okay,
him the
sure.
Stro. We're
All right,
on
there's
a
one extra
first
for
name
that
basis.
one. And I need another one, right? Because we got 5.
Yeah.
Perfect. There we
You
go.
couldn't really be a part of this
Yeah.
conversation if you know.
Yeah.
All right. So remember, we're looking for things that everybody likes in bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pour. If you want to run the first one, grab the first one there.
Okay,
Put a
let
good
me
sip
have
in
this
there.
one.
We'll put some water in there.
How much do? Yeah. So by the way, I didn't know this
Uh-huh.
until recently, actually, that when you drink bourbon, it is cut with water. I didn't know that.
Right.
And so I don't know how much water to put in.
Which serial number are you pouring right now, David?
Where are the serial numbers? Okay, right here. 4407804.
All right, this one. Go ahead and pour them. You pour a little bit in every cup, and then we'll top them off with water. I'll give you the rundown here. Eric has given us the notes on these. All right. The nose on this one is butterscotch and spice. The taste is oak and cornbread. The finish, tobacco and cinnamon. Overall, he says, good, rich aroma, but a bit thin on palate.
Okay, let's get a little education here
Sure.
first. So, these words you just said, the nose,
Yeah.
is this a thing?
Nose is going to be the smell of it. Taste
Oh.
is going to be the way it hits your taste. The
Okay.
finish would be the aftertaste, and then overall, I think just these are
Okay.
his notes.
Like in my opinion, Knob Creek has a very nutty
You pour some water there.
like aftertaste to it.
In here?
No, in that guy. You pour him in, every cup needs to be cut with water. So
And
just
what
give it a
does
splash
cut
of
and
water.
uncut mean?
Ooh, that's a little. Well, this is
So
gonna be
this, so like I was saying,
You know what?
bourbon
Why,
that
you make
drink
video games. I think that's kind of hard.
is cut with water.
What's that mean? It's just there's
I
water.
don't
Uh,
pour- I don't
diluted.
pour
It
liquid
means
all over
diluted
video
with
games.
water.
Oh, okay.
So when you have uncut
okay.
cocaine, for instance, that means it's
That's too
pure.
much.
When you
Is
got
it?
it with things, it means you.
Yeah,
know,
it's a little,
Do you-
little
you
something.
You know how
something.
much whiskey I drink, sir? I
You know more about it than I do, I guess. I'm pouring you another one of the other ones here while we get going.
This is
This
going
is
to turn
very-
into a quick
This is
mess.
very exciting.
for like a.
Well, we're big bourbon people.
We're gonna be
drinking.
fucking wrecked, by the way. So
I'm going to just sip.
I'm gonna drink all of it.
I'm going to pour all of it into one cocktail, like a really bad.
But how? So
Long
are
Island
you
iced tea.
keeping notes about how we feel about all this?
I think it's.
I think we'll just pick as we
have,
go, right? And then we'll know.
We have a photographic history of it.
Look at this photograph.
There you go.
Every time I do it makes me laugh.
Greg, what are you doing?
I'm getting the other one going so we don't
Did
sit
you
here
ever
for
see
20
the
And
minutes.
he's seen Nickelback too.
Your Wikipedia. Look at your iPad's
I know, the
freaking out.
Wikipedia's freaking out.
Did you ever see the movie? What was the one with Wyatt Earp,
So
Doc
this is-
Holliday?
Tombstone.
Tombstone.
Dynamite movie.
Remember when Maddie kept drinking the stuff,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Damn it, stop drinking all that medicine."
Yeah.
That's what this reminds me of.
Okay, great. So here, this is serial number 4407804. Get a good smell.
That does smell good.
It does smell butterscotch and spice.
Get your nose in there. Don't just get
No,
in
I'm
there.
good.
I don't know about the butterscotch.
You don't smell
But the
butterscotch?
spice?
Oh yeah, doctor. That is tasty.
Yeah.
That is not bad at all. That has a hit to it though.
It got a kick in the back. Look at Timmy.
Got
Look at the pure one
We
go.
got the kick.
The pure one drinking
Some
it.
Inception shit.
That's
I
really
really
good.
like this one.
That's really good.
That one's fantastic.
Well, now don't give out your perfect 10 just yet, everybody. I learned the hard way.
I feel like we should have spaced
I like
this
how it
out
took
so
me
we
the
did
longest to
one
get that one.
every episode for the next 4 weeks. Otherwise, my liver
We still
might
could?
shut
Do you wanna do
down.
that?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know when he has to order the barrel. That's the other
Fair
problem.
enough.
for
keep
him.
doing
Fair
it.
enough. Let's go.
Here's the thing: we can be gentlemen. You don't have to drink it all. We don't have to drink your whole thing you have.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Well, Colin says so.
You know, I'm gonna go drink with a Russian after this. So,
So you're screwed. It's over.
Tonight I'm
You drink
done.
with some
Yeah.
Irish guys, and then you're going out with the Russian. That's some trouble for you. All right. So do we want to? You want to move to the next one then? Get the waters going on these guys.
I want to keep these like here.
Put them in order.
I'll be right back.
Are you gonna get a Sharpie?
Yeah.
There's 3 Sharpies right there, in the little cup on the windowsill, in the new studio. Next, we are moving, ladies and gentlemen, to serial number 4573414. Let's see what we got there. 4573.
They need names for these. Do they have names for these?
Not any of the notes I
I'm
have.
gonna call
Can
the
you
first
name 'em?
one. I'm gonna call the first one the Screaming Eagle.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
That's a hard
Yeah.
one to do. But
Is that too?
I like
that's
it.
too harsh.
Is butterscotch a screaming?
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
don't know.
Thank you.
sorry.
You don't think an eagle can have butterscotch?
I just didn't know.
What's
How
wrong
dare
with
you,
What's
sir.
the matter with you?
All right, ladies and gentlemen. The next one is
Racist.
for
It
this is
is.
for 4573414. The nose, brown sugar and molasses.
I'm gonna call this one
The taste. Can you just let me get through any of the things before you just name it immediately?
the Boston Terrier.
Taste, complex leather and peppercorns.
Complex leather?
Yeah.
That's
there's-
Finish, spicy orange peel. Overall excellent, very complex.
your
I actually
iPad
love
just
leather.
opened-
Leather tastes
This
delicious.
is fucking awesome.
Your iPad just opened up Netflix.
All right, iPad, we get it. You don't want things
Thank
on
you
you.
very much.
Where's the button?
Where's mine? Thank you. This one's the
Oh,
one that
thank
has
you.
complex leather.
Hold on.
I'm supposed to smell like the
So we're
oak
writing.
trees.
Colin, what did you write the numbers on? them?
I wrote one.
I'm gonna write the. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna do 4, 7,
So this will be 2.
0.
Now I'm not a fan of the smell of this one immediately.
It's a more subdued smell.
It's not as butterscotchy.
It's definitely less
Did
butterscotchy.
we cut this with water?
Yes.
Really?
And as
You
you,
went
all
much-
know, I
much
love
light-
butterscotch.
Ooh, I like the smell of this one a lot.
Really? It's like a man.
It smells
It
like
smells
rubbing
like
alcohol.
complex leather.
Oh, my God.
that's good.
Is complex leather something you'd find
But
like
is
an
it, but is
Aston
it
Martin?
like
Tastes like-
lambskin leather, or is it like cow leather? I mean, what kind of
Like
leather?
what kind of car would we
Okay,
find?
now
this
come
complex
on,
leather?
Colin. I could drink this all day and all night.
This is fucking good.
All right.
This is real good.
That.
Woo!
That's not as harsh as I thought it would be. It fills the mouth.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh yeah.
I like
It
this one a
smells
lot.
like a really like it tastes like a really good leather. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like when I watched that documentary Soam, which I recommend a lot of people here. It's
you
about
haven't- you
sommeliers.
watch a lot of
It's all he watches.
documentaries.
He
That's all I watch,
doesn't like
documentaries.
fiction anymore. Ever.
And it's about the test to take the master sommelier test.
Oh,
there's
cool.
only 180 of them in the world, and a lot of people have been watching and tweeting at me saying about the recommendation. But there's all of these like things they say like where it tastes like weird things that aren't actually
Taste.
real, but like that's what it tastes like. You know?
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's the same thing, I'm sure.
You writing your numbers down too?
Oh my god, there is. Oh yeah.
I have hints of complex leather.
That one tastes a little bit like a warm ice cream Snickers bar.
Okay, I can go with that one. I can actually do that. Brown sugar. Sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Ladies and gentlemen, remember, we are drinking these thanks to Eric Castro from Polite Provisions. That's
Stro-
Polite San Diego on Twitter. If you're in San Diego, 4696 30th Street, you better bet your bottom dollar when we go to Comic-Con this year, we'll be drinking there. Wait, which one did you just put in?
1, 2, 3.
Let me see what 3's numbers are. You cut them with water?
Not yet. I'm about to do it now.
Number 3 is 4584420.
What do these numbers mean?
It's
These are their serial numbers.
Oh.
Like they
They all
have
come from
barrels that
different
have all
barrels.
been aged
Got
for
it.
10, and this
Right.
is like what you get out of the sample.
this shit was put in a barrel in 2004. That's what I love so much about.
9/11 hadn't even happened yet.
That's exactly right, Greg.
This is Freedom Bourbon.
It's only 2008.
Freedom Bourbon.
The nose, faint butterscotch.
Oh.
Faint. Oh man.
The taste,
You know,
this
I'm
is
in.
for you.
I'm in
This
for
is for
butterscotch.
you.
Uh-oh.
The taste, sweet corn and cola.
I'm there.
The finish,
Sold.
toffee and orange. Overall note from Eric Castro, very good. Great
Thank you.
taste, but aroma is a bit light.
Thank you, Mr. Ballard.
So are you supposed to be just smelling
you?
these things all
Right,
the
this is
time?
me. Bourbon?
Yeah, that's part of it. Is part of it is
So-
part of it is enjoying the aroma of the whiskey, just like a cigar.
Bourbon's not something that, I mean, traditionally when we all go out, we just slam alcohol. You know, to build up
fist
courage.
bump them on here,
Bourbon
I have
and
it.
scotch, a good bourbon and a good scotch, you're not really supposed to do that with. It's more of a sipping, relaxing.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really want to cut a good bourbon with ice. You don't want to cut too much a good scotch with ice. You just want to kind
Cut.
of,
I've learned that word tonight.
there you go, dilute rather.
I think
so.
this is my least favorite so far.
Neat, as they say.
I'll tell you what, it's not
Nice.
this.
It's not Coca-Cola. It's not a
It's not
Mexican
Coca-Cola.
Coke from the corner store.
Arsicle.
RC Cola.
That one's not my favorite.
No, I think this is my least favorite so far.
Okay,
I'm
I agree.
coming-
with that.
It's still fantastic. Actually, we like this, but it's of the three so far. It's
Yeah, these
This
are all
is the
better
most
than most of the
bourbon-y.
things we drink here.
That is a fact.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going back to all of them though.
You're gonna do another taste round here
Yep.
before you finish it.
Sure am.
You're taking your job seriously, and that's why I love you.
yeah, the same thing.
I'm
It's
gonna
like a big
call that
more-
one
Yeah, for sure.
This
The
is you.
Superman.
Yeah, okay. The Superman.
The Superman.
We talk about all the time how we knew we loved Nick Scarpino. One of the first times I knew I loved Nick Scarpino is when he would walk around the office going Superman.
You do that.
But I mean, like, and it's toned down now, Tim.
No, I
It used to
remember
be that it would be 4 times a day, for no reason, and then it became when somebody would say Superman, then it'd be if you saw something blue.
So Alexis hit the nail right on the head. She said that sometimes I'll watch a movie, and then the next day I'll pretend for like an entire week straight like I'm one of the characters from the movie. And I watched Superman 2 one time, like a long time ago. Came
And
into
you
the
chose
office.
that you were the girl, that you were Ursa. That's who you pretended as you walked around.
You know, sometimes you got to go with what you got to go
Hey,
with.
I'm not knocking it.
No, but she has that one lovely part. where
Superman.
Superman. And that's it. So I said that a lot. And Greg loves it. It made Greg laugh. That was the first time I made Greg laugh, so I just stick with it.
That's when, ha, you're great, Ned.
Love that first laugh.
Ned.
I didn't know who he was yet.
Let's call him Ned. I like that.
Keep calling him
Ned
Scrappy Doo.
Scarpino. Scrappy Doo is the best name
Dude.
ever.
He walks into the lunch place. We're having lunch today, and I was like, "Oh, hey, look, it's Scrappy Doo."
There you go.
Never met him before.
That's a true fan.
Do I wish my nickname was the Terminator? Yes, I do.
But alas,
Am I probably going to
2000,
get
bro.
saddled up with Scrappy Doo? That's such as my
I
life.
wish my nickname was Skynet.
Oh, I'm going to call you Skynet from
Dude.
now on.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
an awesome nickname?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Cool story. Real
But you're not
quick.
a Skynet.
SpaceX. Night Dog got to go do a tour of SpaceX. It was really cool. And they have a server room full of servers, and both sides of the servers. One server room is called Skynet, and the other one is Cyberdyne Systems.
That's awesome.
And it's SpaceX. I'm like, dude, we're doomed. Like,
Yeah,
That's
but
so
my
cool.
question is this: when you name an actual advanced computer array Skynet, are you asking for trouble?
Yes.
Are you
It's
just,
a brilliant name. Like, whenever they came up with the idea, like, what are we gonna call the futuristic computer system? And they're like Skynet.
Which one is this? Oh, it's perfect.
yeah.
number 4.
I know. I need the
Oh,
serial
yeah,
numbers
yeah,
to give you
yeah.
the notes, son. All right, here we go. This is 4573421 in case you want to order it at home. The nose is sweet caramel.
yeah,
The
it's
taste
not.
is vanilla and pecans. The finish, cinnamon and charred oak.
Yeah.
I'm excited
Oh,
for
this
this.
one's gonna
Overall,
be good.
I'm excited
excellent,
for
nice
this.
mix of fruit and spice.
This sounds delicious. Colin, what's your first? Don't even drink it, Colin. What's your first impression of this?
What notes are you getting, Colin?
It's like Sharpie.
Stop writing on them before you smell them.
Stop licking the Sharpie, Ballard.
It smells sweet to me.
This bad boy.
What was supposed to be the scent?
The nose on this bad boy was sweet caramel.
Yeah, it smells sweet to me.
I started for a while. I was smelling my microphone. I'm like, it doesn't smell like anything.
This is it.
The bourbon's in my
This is it?
This is it.
That's the jam.
This is my jam.
Oh dear.
There was an epiphany to my right just now.
Oh yeah. That's like sliding into a Barcalounger right there
Oh
in
my
a good way, like an expensive leather Barcalounger.
Oh yeah.
I like that fine leather.
See, this one didn't tell you about the
Eric
leather.
Castro.
Just gave you the
He's
leather.
too good to us. Polite Provisions in San Diego. Make sure you tweet at him and say, at Polite San Diego, you wasted the show watching these guys get wasted.
Do you remember the movie Blow,
Who could forget it?
starring Johnny Depp?
And Pee Wee Herman.
I imagine that's what Eric Castro's life is like right now. I don't know Eric Castro, but I think
He's a
that
good dude.
maybe
You're gonna be
I
fast
already like the guy
friends.
a lot. Thank
You're
you.
gonna be
is
fast
he super
friends.
cool? I'm
Yeah,
already
he's
good,
the
like
coolest.
really liking him a lot. but I imagine that he's Johnny Depp's character from Blow.
Oh my god. There's only one thing I know for sure right now, Nick. Number 3 is out.
Yeah.
Number 3 is
Yeah.
out.
For me, it's down to
give it
2
out.
and 4. 2 and 4 are in the race.
I would say 2 and 4. One's strong.
I'm 1 and 4.
One
I'm
and
1
4?
and 4 right now.
I think I'm
gonna
1,
be
2,
a
and
vote
4 are all in play.
Wait, which one did I refer
The bomb
to?
is in play.
Which one did I refer to as the melted Snickers ice cream bar?
You said that one for number 2.
Okay, let me
The
try
brown
number 2
sugar and
then.
molasses.
You said number 2 was out. Is that
No,
what you
no,
said?
1,
2,
2,
and
and
4
4 are in.
1, 2, or 4.
1, 2, and
3's
4 are
out.
in play. 3's definitely out.
Yeah, that nose on this one it just smells. It's like
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Happiness.
I guess just gentlemen. You're about to enjoy 4582264.
yeah, that's good.
This
She was
one,
good.
this one has a nose of deep cinnamon and brown sugar. Taste, oak and vanilla. Finish, chewy black pepper.
Whoa!
That's amazing.
Man, that's legit.
Overall, the note says
Thank you,
it's
Mr.
great.
Ballard.
Lots of spice and oak rye dominates.
All
right.
This is an exciting moment for me.
I like the smell of this one
So,
right off the bat.
Colin, I used to go wine tasting, which by used to I mean I get dragged to a wine tasting every once in a while. And depending on the group, it can always be really fun. But I never really liked tasting wine. But this is a lot more fun. If it had been like this, I think I'd go to more tastings.
This is why I want to go to Kentucky with all of us.
Yeah. You
I
talked
don't
about
know
that.
about that one.
Greg Miller.
Well,
Greg
official.
Miller. You know we
the shirt has
have.
come off.
You know we have like. Oh, we don't have any paper towels.
I haven't
in
even
this house.
tasted it yet because I like the
I have
smell.
those tissues from Japan.
I like the smell of this one a lot. I'm gonna
This
taste
one's
it.
got some.
Whether it's
They got
Michael
some
or
kick.
I like
That
this
one
a
is
lot.
the strongest yet.
Ooh!
Oh, that's got pepper. Holy shit.
Oh my god!
This one is the
A
I
chewy
really want
black
to get fucked
pepper
up.
finish.
This
Is
has
it
like-
really bad?
He's right. I can taste it.
It's
Yeah.
got like cayenne pepper on the bottom of it.
Got
Take a
the
look. You see, it's got some. They've actually added pepper to this.
Could be pieces of the barrel, right?
Might be oak.
Could be Eric Castor's finger. We don't know. We just drink stuff that comes in the mail.
Done.
I like this one. This one's strong as shit.
Greg, have you ever
strong.
thought about that though? Because we get a lot of stuff sent to us by fans.
Yeah.
You ever think about one
I
day
think
they're
of-
just gonna poison you?
Well, I mean, I don't eat food generally. I know Eric long enough, but maybe that's been his
You
game.
eat
all,
food.
I've been. Maybe this is his game all along.
You think he's
I don't
just
eat food from
slow
fans.
game
No, just
poisoning
saying
you?
food
Oh, okay.
in general.
Oh, Greg eats.
You've
We
seen
all
it.
do. Team fat.
Remember when
Team
we went to
fat?
Underdogs the other day and ordered 2
TF.
tacos and a thing of wings?
Is it
Yeah.
TF?
How can I forget?
How do we do it, Tim? Is it
I don't know.
TF?
The T.
Right here. You push
then
it.
This
You
way,
go-
right?
you go
That
T.
looks like
We're
an
doing
F.
team
You go
fat
T
stuff here.
and you
or
push it to the F.
Oh,
TF.
damn.
Damn.
It's like Li.
What?
right. So
LA?
we
Or LA.
right now 3 is out of the running is what we've decided.
Yeah,
right?
3's out.
I'm going 1 or 2. That's me.
I got to go all the way
I was,
back through.
I was gonna say you want to bat the rotation again.
Yeah,
just
let's
take
go
3
back.
out.
Number 1. Greg,
take-
hit me
look-
with everything again. About
Colin,
number
wait. Does everyone get a veto? Colin, you vetoed
Well,
3.
we'll do a vote.
Yeah, we'll
There's
vote.
4. There's 5 of us.
the
That's
hell
that'll
did my
probably
one
that'll
go?
probably work out.
At this
Math.
point, all right. So Nick, to your words, let's all keep our thoughts secret from now on.
Okay.
And then we'll vote. We'll go down the table after we taste it again.
Sure.
And we'll say what
Winner
we feel.
takes all.
Now,
So
if
we're
I
doing
heard-
all of them again, or are we saying 3's unlimited?
We could do 3 again, but I may maybe give it another shot.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, gentlemen. You're gonna be drinking number 1. The nose, butterscotch and spice. The taste, oak and cornbread. The finish, tobacco and cinnamon.
The hair. Tim Geddes. Your hair's looking good today. How much
this
hairspray
good?
do you use on that hair?
I don't use any spray. I use this
Really?
weird product.
Remember, we are not looking for smooth. We are looking for character. So keep your senses tuned for things that everyone loves about bourbon.
Oh, that's good.
Has to be good enough to
I feel like
hold
they're
its
all
own.
smooth.
Oh boy.
So,
Never,
Nah,
maybe number
one's-
5's not very
Yeah,
smooth.
number
1
five's
and
not
5 have a little bit more bite to them. Than
5
the
got the character.
you think 1 has more bite to it?
Yeah, 1 definitely.
Yeah.
Because from 1
This
to
is
2.
1. You're drinking 1
yeah,
right
it
now.
has a lot more. It has a lot more bite.
Why did I
than-
just see you put down a cup marked 5 then?
Because I put this here. I would know the difference.
Ladies
between 1
and
5.
gentlemen, we have a hanging Chad, and I want to be barred from the voting procedures.
I don't like being called a hanging Chad.
I don't get that reference.
I have a friend named Chad.
God. Really? The
Really?
2000
Explain it to
election?
him. Explain it to him.
In 2000, when Bush ran against Gore, Florida was a contested state. And they went through and counted all the votes again. And it was this big thing where there were some ballots with, like, when you punch something, like do a hole punch, but the paper hangs on to the paper. It's called a hanging Chad. And they were trying to figure out would that count as a vote or not. This was a whole, I can't believe you don't remember this, but this is a
I
whole.
was 10.
It was a big deal.
It was a whole thing.
He was playing Power Rangers.
Yes.
Okay.
I keep
And then
forgetting
it
you're
took
younger.
forever. It took
Yeah.
forever for
Finally, Al Gore
Was
came
it-
on TV and quit.
yeah, it was Gore. It took forever for him to
Could
say,
concede.
you know what, I'm done.
Yeah,
Gentlemen-
we almost got to Inauguration Day where everyone was wondering what would happen if you got that far.
I was young too. Your age too. How old were we when that happened? 2000, I guess is what you said.
2000, 10th grade.
Oh, so we weren't that super young.
I've also been really into politics since like.
My thing was I don't
Since the
ever.
womb.
You remember the movie, one of the, and I know, stick with me here, the Michael Moore movies, the documentaries he did about all this, and he had the whole thing on when
Fahrenheit 9/11.
that was it, right? Yeah, and when Gore is like in the Senate, right? Congress.
Gore was vice president.
Yeah. So which one did he oversee?
Senate.
Okay. And like they come in and they're all like saying, like all these people are saying it's under protest, that he's lost the election or whatever, but he has to just like say, "Too bad, I lost the election" or whatever. I never saw that on the news, but then like, there's a big part of the documentary about it.
Yep.
I thought that was real interesting. Sad, real sad. I remember my mom crying when he gave up the election.
I was happy.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you were, but look what that got us.
Yep. 2-term president. Got reelected. Legitimized him.
Number two,
Number two.
ladies and gentlemen. Number 2 is the nose brown sugar and molasses.
Okay.
Taste complex leather and peppercorns.
I smell
Finish
the leather. It's so funny.
spicy orange peel.
I actually do smell leather too. It smells like a new car, like a good way, a car you want to lick.
I'm just like going through now. I'm like just like tossing back like every.
Yeah, I think I messed up the game. And I drank the whole thing the first time. Was I supposed to keep more?
You drank them all?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're gonna be fucking.
How wasted.
I was gonna say, look at his eyes start to go.
Pure one.
Actually, I was worried about the pure one. So actually, every one that I poured, the one that had the least amount, I gave.
You're a good man. You're a
He's
good
also
man.
the one who's
Keep
got
like
to edit the
credibility.
podcast tonight for the first time ever. So
Tim's also wearing a sticker on his arm. That's where he's at right now.
I put that on before I even drank.
I thought about putting one on
Repping
the wall.
company.
It does have a curse word on it. If we want to ever get sponsored one day,
This is hard.
not
Yeah.
right now. We have to worry about it.
Well, it wouldn't be too hard.
Now, do you want to go?
Content's
You want to go to order now?
3?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do 3.
Remember, we drank. Okay, I guess
3's out, I think, but let's give it another chance.
Number 3. Nose faint butterscotch. Taste sweet corn and cola. Finish toffee and orange.
It's the lightest one, I think.
See, I think 1's the lightest.
It's not bad. No, not bad, but it's not as good as 1 and 2.
I actually like it more the second time around, but not enough to dethrone my favorites.
Oh yeah, that's got a kick.
Eric's probably watching this being like, why aren't they drinking water and shit too in between? We're not really doing it right, but
No, all I taste now is burn. I'm not gonna lie.
that doesn't burn me at all because this is all I
Really?
drink.
Yeah, me and Colin are men. You're a little boy. We get it.
It's hard. I like when my girlfriend every once in a while, like I'll get a good bourbon, she'll like taste it and she like can't even handle it. And like I can just drink bourbon. So that's just what you do. If you drink beer or whatever you drink, you get used to it.
Number 4. Nose sweet caramel. Taste vanilla and pecans. Finish cinnamon and charred oak.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I like how you say pecans. 'Cause
Instead
some
of
people-
pecan.
Yeah, some
Some-
people say pecan.
Yeah, you get around.
This makes me happy.
Caramel.
Some people say Khalid, some say Khalid, in the words of DJ Khaled.
Oh my god. I was like, what word are you talking about? And then I realized
10 years down, and
you
I'm
are
finally
talking
free.
about the thing I'm thinking about. Popular rap.
My
music.
entire mouth is on fire in a good way.
I actually was just
I'm
drinking
feeling
number 1.
great.
I was drinking 1. Now I got to drink 4.
You asshole. Man.
There it is.
All right, are we on to 5?
Number 5. Then
No,
we'll
I'm not
cast
gonna,
votes.
I'm not gonna drink 5. So it's too spicy for me. It's got too much character.
Nose,
That's
deep
what he wants.
cinnamon. He does. Remember this. I'll read you the rules one more time.
much
Actually, drink one more, then we'll read the rules. We'll go from there. Number 5. Nose, deep cinnamon and brown sugar. Taste, oak and vanilla. Finish, chewy black pepper.
The black pepper I totally get. On this one.
I still taste the pepper.
Oh, bourbon's so fucking good. Oh my god. God bless America.
And that's what they call it.
I'm actually more of
Okay.
a Scotch guy, but
So we're gonna
bourbon's
vote.
Pretty solid too.
Remember, Eric Castro writes, "We are not looking for smooth. We are looking for character. So keep your senses tuned for things that everyone loves about bourbon. We will be using this bourbon in mostly old fashions, so it has to be good enough to hold its own without relying on juices or mixers."
So people will drink this neat.
Correct.
'Cause that's how OG Colin drinks his bourbon.
OG.
I like OG Colin.
So I have to say, my vote is for. I would say 4 because that to me was the best. But if we're looking for character, if that's what we're judging
Well, I
on,
think he wants us to judge it based on what we also like. Right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
don't
it's-
vote for something you don't like just because it tastes like knocks you in the head.
I mean, here's the easiest way, right? You're not looking for smoothness. You're, quote, looking for character. So keep your senses tuned for things that everyone loves about bourbon.
I don't know. I liked 4 a lot, but 5 kicked my ass.
5's too much, I think.
5's too much for me.
So I'm gonna go 4.
All right. Colin Moriarty.
I don't know yet. I gotta go back through.
David Ballard.
Okay, I'm going with number 2. And the reason is it's a very rich and complex flavor. You get a lot of notes, like definitely sweet. You get that leathery, but also I can imagine this in a old fashioned or whiskey sour, and I just think it would absolutely complement both of those drinks.
Okay,
too, so.
excellent.
Yeah.
Greg Miller is casting his ballot for 4. I enjoyed 4 quite a bit.
Good choice.
Nicholas Scarpino, the producer.
I'm taking this real seriously. That's why I'm taking swigs of water.
I know. I'm taking 6 of water out of the fucking jar. I didn't realize that part.
I'll go with.
Well, we don't need it anymore.
I know.
And I'm clean.
What'd you vote for?
Calm down, bro.
I'm not telling you. This is your call, Nick.
I love you.
I had it in my brain and then I totally forgot it. I'm gonna go with 4 also.
Sorry. That's
Yeah.
rude.
I'll go with 4.
All right. Colin Moriarty, would you like to waste your vote?
I want to cast an honest ballot.
Okay.
So Greg,
He just did the
While we
Greg
wait for
Oreo
Colin.
thing.
Yeah, it's not an interesting MP3, I guess.
Hold on.
not
That part.
not terribly interesting.
Just when he's doing that part. This has been a fun discussion.
Yeah,
hasn't
I like
been.
this.
And if not, you skip ahead. Big deal. Screw off.
Hold on a second.
If there are
No
any
problem. Take
other
time.
bars that would like to donate some alcohol for testing?
Remember, when you're in San Diego, visit Polite Provisions at 4696 30th
hard.
Street. Follow Polite Provisions on Twitter. Polite San Diego. That's Diego.
I think
like
I think I know
Diego.
where I want to go, but hold on a second.
They're polite as fuck.
They are polite as fuck, saying this according to the sticker that Tim.
I actually like that sticker. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
All right, hold on a second. Okay. It's got to be number 4.
Yay! And a
the winner.
landslide victory.
That was hardcore.
David Ballard, fuck off and die.
Gladly, let's go.
It was between 1 and 4 for me. What did you
Now-
vote for, Ballard? 2?
2.
2's really good. That had a star for me too.
2 is actually, in my opinion, a little stronger than 4, actually, too. So that was another reason I went for that one.
I think
I gotta
if you-
say though, 5 has character.
Yeah.
5 is the character winner.
See, like if I was gonna go to the bar, I would order 5. If I was just getting one on the rocks or straight, yeah, totally. I like 5 a lot.
Really?
Johnny 5's alive. Yeah.
I really feel like I could sip on this and smoke it, a nice mild cigar.
Number 4. Oh no, totally. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, but I mean, like I'm just looking at different things. Like I would order 4 as well.
So did he say what he's naming the new one?
No. I don't think because it's not. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong a little bit here on bourbon. It's kind of like wine, right? You put it in the cast iron, it comes the oak. It comes out a bit different every time.
Yeah.
So that's all this is. Is like we're picking the Henry McKenna single barrel 10-year-old.
Yeah, I think these all went in probably at the same time in 2004.
So this comes out. I think that this gets picked with that name. He just picks which kind.
Because if we can call it the Johnny 5, I'm gonna change mine to 5.
wait a minute.
Wait, no, nobody
we
has to
call it
know
that?
that. There's a 5 in it. It's
Can we-
sweet caramel, so it could be like we can
Can we
sing
call
songs.
it number 4?
We also shouldn't call it
Caramel.
Johnny anything
Oh, okay, good point.
because that's a scotch.
Can we call
The
it
Henry
the
McKenna-
Fantastic 4?
Johnny Walker.
The Henry McKenna Fantastic 4.
There it is. Boom.
All right,
The Fantastic
polite,
4.
polite as fuck. Put it on a bumper sticker.
There it is.
Eric Castro, thank you so much
Thank you,
for
Eric.
letting
That
us
was
be a
fun.
part of your business. We hope we picked the right one. Everyone go to Polite Provisions in San Diego. Follow them on Twitter, Polite San Diego. Then go to their location, 4696 30th Street, San Diego, California.
Let's keep these bottles too. This is a cool little
put
memento.
things like
We would never
arsenic.
get something like this from a legit distillery.
So that's my topic.
listen.
And now that we're all good and buzzed, who wants to go next? I'm going to keep the notes out in case we want to.
So actually, my topic would tie in perfectly for this.
Go for it.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
So
doctor.
my topic is worst hangover experience you've ever had. I want to know how epic your night was that made your hangover that epic as well.
I have a fun one.
Yeah.
It was Halloween about I think I was in college. Might have been my senior year in college. We're talking 2002, 2001. I decided I don't know why I decided to do this, but I went as the Incredible Hulk. And I painted myself, or rather my brother helped me paint myself from head to toe green.
Is
So I
there
took
pictures?
Oh yeah, I have them somewhere. I'll have to find them for you.
Do
I'll
you-
have my
Links in the
you
brother,
description,
regret
ladies
hating
and
yourself?
gentlemen.
I'll have my brother take pictures and send them up. I'll tweet them out.
He'll take pictures.
Well, well, this was before digital photography was
Sure,
prevalent,
sure.
so these are all actually printed out. He has to take a picture of it. But I got really drunk at my friend's party. We went back. I have no idea how I got home, and I woke up and I was like, and I looked at myself and I kind of just was a faint green, and I'm not sure why. And then I looked down at my buddy's all white couch, and that was the answer. And I felt physically and mentally terrible because of that. Because no matter how many times I tried to flip the cushions, that was not happening.
I thought that was gonna end completely
I
differently.
thought he was going to puke and it'd be all green.
Well, I thought you were just gonna be like, why the fuck am I green?
Oh no,
That'd be
no,
awesome.
that would have been amazing too. But yeah, that was that. And then we got burritos from Alberto's down in Costa Mesa.
course.
It was amazing. That was it.
I have two stories that spring to mind. I have a defining hangover story from when I first got to college.
Yeesh.
And I was in, Antlers, like I always talk about, right? Sporting group, yada, yada, yada. I was a freshman trying to make my name in the group when the Mizzou basketball.
Portillo likes number
4. That's the winner. Yeah.
There it is.
Nick, let Greg finish.
Yeah, we read about you on Twitter all the time, cutting people off on this
God,
show.
I'm
You
such
better
a
knock
cutter.
it
I'm
off.
a
You better
cutter.
knock it off. So Mizzou in the olden days, and still to this day, I believe, kicks off their like legit basketball season in this arch war thing with Illinois. They play basketball in St. Louis, neutral ground, play basketball, have a big game or whatever. And so students had to camp out to get their tickets or whatever, line up to get their tickets. And us, the Antlers, are based around the fact that biggest sports fans at Mizzou, they're going to do it. So a whole group went out and lined up, and they were going to take shifts letting people in. I wasn't even going to be in town. I'd be back in Chicago for this game, so I just went and lined up to hold spots with everybody else. So it's me and like 2 really super senior Antlers who I'm trying to impress and do well with, and then one of their best friends who's there and a couple other dudes. And the best friend is sitting there. He's like, "Hey, Blue," because I had blue hair. He's like, "Hey, Blue, tonight we're finishing this bottle of Evan Williams, the knockoff Jack Daniels. We're gonna finish this bottle of Evan Williams together." And I'm like, "All right." And I drank a bit here and there before, but like this is like full on. Like now I'm drinking for real in college. Like I'm not drinking whiskey. You know what I mean? Like this or whatever. So me and him passed this bottle of Evan Williams back all night long. And then at some point we're drunk, obviously, and so we were camped outside of the Hearn Center, which is the old basketball stadium at Mizzou, and we start walking around and eventually find an open door. So wasted with this bottle of Evan Williams, we go into the Hearn Center and like explore around, going through all this. He's showing me all this cool Mizzou stuff. We eventually get back to where all the gymnastic stuff is, where they practice, and they have like the thing where you can pole vault into it and land on the giant mat and do all these different things, and the pommel horse. And he's doing pommel horse stuff, and I just ran out into the middle of the giant mat you land in or whatever when you do the pole vault. Jumped in the middle of that, and then was so exhausted and drunk that I literally couldn't get out of it. And there was a brief, real moment of like, I'm gonna die here, because it's like I'm flailing around like quicksand and I can't move.
Even when you're not drunk, that is horrifying.
Right. And so eventually I like army crawl out of it. We go out there, we drink more, we sleep the night away out there with everybody else in the cold on the concrete of the Hearn Center. You barely get any sleep. I wake up and just like this is like the first like legit super hangover I've had, which would be the first of many. But pounding headache, I'm dying. And I go back into my dorm, I change clothes, and I go to class, and I end up puking in 3 different toilets on the Mizzou campus. None of them at my dorm, though, which I was always very impressed about. But the worst being when I missed a French test or something. So I had to go to find that French TA or whatever, take the test, do all this stuff at his office. But in the middle of the test, I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. And I just went, and I'm like, is there a bathroom in the store? He's like, yeah, the TA's one's right here. I'm like, I just go in there and vomit all over the toilet, then back out, finish the French exam, then go home and die.
There you go.
It was horrible. David Ballard?
Okay, so mine is actually okay, well, mine is definitely the Uncharted 2 rap party. But there's also I just remembered actually my friend's wedding where
That's the problem. When you I just thought of another one too. There's so many you think of.
All right. Well, I'll tell the Uncharted 2.
Sure.
Okay, so rap party for Uncharted 2. We're
A
at
video
this-
game.
The video game that we worked on, and it was my first like big rap party,
Sure.
rap party, and I was super excited. And it was at this restaurant's no longer in LA, but it was off of the marina, so it's got like this beautiful view of the ocean and stuff, and all the boats and everything out there. And so there's dinner and stuff, and we're eating, and then drinks start coming around, and we're getting drunk and stuff. And there's like a band, open bar, of course, it's an open bar, right? Like every night dog party, is an open bar, and then. And then at one point, some guy, one of my coworkers comes up and he's like, "Dude, have you been to the vodka room yet?" I'm like, the what? The vodka room? He's like, "Yeah, follow me." And so he takes me, and like we go in the back. Like I'm like, "We're in the kitchen. What are we doing?" And like they converted their walk-in freezer. And like at some point they're like, "Hey, yeah, we have all these bottles of vodka in here, and just come in and we'll pour you a shot of vodka." So periodically throughout the rest of the night, what would happen is like slowly everybody would go and find like a friend, like, "Hey, have you been in the vodka room yet?" And then like you go, and then like somebody else would come to you, "Hey, have you been to the vodka room yet?" Like I have, like, "Oh, well, come with me anyways." And so you go again. And so at one point we're sitting there, we're all like cheersing, and like this room is smaller than this room. Actually, it's like a small walk-in,
I
refrigerator.
don't think they make rooms smaller than this room.
But so like they're we're all like packed in there, we're all like cheers, and I'm like, dude, there's like 30 people in, like we've all been in here like 5 times, like we're gonna be so messed up tomorrow. And then so the vodka room's kind of infamous at Naughty Dog actually after that, but everybody
Became
was
a puke room real quick.
Exactly. So everybody like super wasted. Even the waitresses at this restaurant were just wasted. Everybody was wasted. And I've got a flight to catch at midnight. I've got a red eye that night to go back home to Texas from Austin. And I am wasted. And so I taxied to the restaurant and stored my luggage. Me and my ex-girlfriend at the time stored our luggage in a friend's car in the trunk. And so then like 11 o'clock comes around, like the airport's not too far. I'm like, all right, now I gotta go. Where's my friend? And he had driven somebody who was too drunk, took them home, so all my luggage is in their car, so I had to wait. Finally gets back there, taxi drives like about out of hell to get us to the airport. We still missed the flight, so we had to sit there till 5 a.m. in the morning. And then during that five-hour wait of sitting there, the alcohol, like,
starts to seep.
it's like, yeah, the poison spreads. And the fire rises.
No!
Nailed it. Good show. See you guys.
Well, I just wanted to make it to our first Bane reference. See you later.
And anyway, so finally, like I'm like right before the plane starts boarding and we're about to leave, I'm like, you know what? I need to puke. So I go and I just empty it, and that's when the headache comes.
Right.
The splitting headache, and then we get on this plane, and my girlfriend at the time was puking as well, like everywhere. And so we get on this plane, and I sit in the middle seat because I'm the gentleman. I let her have the window seat. I should have said fuck that, but no. So she's got the window seat. I'm in this middle, and there's some random guy next to me, and I'm like cramped like this. My body wants to vomit the entire time. If I had not vomited, I would have done it all over that guy. Probably not the girlfriend, but like all over the guy. And I just sat there for 3.5 hours of just pure hell of like being tight. And then I got like cramp in my leg. I always get cramps in my legs when I fly. And I was like, it was the worst. It was the worst hangover of my life. I was the most miserable 3.5 hours straight. It was like watching The Dark Knight Rises for you.
Thank you.
Colin, before you tell your story, what's your favorite hangover food? What do you gotta have if you're hungover?
I love pizza.
Yeah. Pizza. You go pizza.
Yeah.
I
If I get a
You go
burger,
for-
that's the best.
Yeah,
Oh,
You
burger
need
when you're
like
hungover.
beef grease and stuff. It's just-
if I can take a quick aside, one of my other worst hangovers was on spring break at Edisto Beach in that Piggly Wiggly sweatshirt I always wear. And I did all these shots because I wasn't getting drunk enough off beer fast enough, I decided. And so I passed out at midnight. And then between midnight and 9 a.m., I puked like 9 times. I remember, and I was just like, the next day, I was still puking when I woke up. Friends finally went to this awesome burger place on the like beach in South Carolina. One of 2 places in my life I've ever been that had freedom fries written on their menu. But their burgers were phenomenal. And I'll never forget I got that burger and put it down in front of me and almost broke down in tears because I was so terrified I was going to eat it and throw it up.
You were terrified that you almost cry because of that.
I don't want to. I was a good burger. I don't want to disrespect it.
I don't know which story to tell. There's a great
Is there one that
quintessential
starts with sex?
story. No.
Okay. Well, then
There's a
I'm
quintessential
partial.
story about my first holiday party at IGN, but I don't know if I should tell that story.
Just to let you know, mine is the recent holiday party.
Okay.
I was gonna. And that,
Is that you know the story? So is that all right to tell you? Think?
yeah. Well, I mean, if you want, like spade for a spade or whatever. Like when he started talking about his, I remember my real one was an IGN holiday party as well.
Was that the holiday party where Hillary was making everyone do the shots
that was
for gold
that
stars?
was the year before.
Tell both. I actually want to kind of really go back to that friend's wedding story.
All right, cool. We'll do another round. We'll do another round.
So the first one I'll tell is my first summer back home after college. Like when you're a freshman and you go home. And my good friend lived. I was blessed to live on a street on Long Island where a few of my friends lived on the same street. We grew up together. And we went back home. No one's seen each other for a long time. So we go to my friend's house. His parents are gone for the night or whatever. We end up getting like really, really drunk, and more people start coming to the house, right? Like, and you're like, oh, I haven't seen you in a long time. Let's have a shot. Let's have, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I drink. We're getting fucked up. I pass out in the backyard next to his pool in the grass, and then I fall asleep. And then I wake up the next morning, and his mom is like poking me.
Yeah.
As like the sun's rising, and be like, Colin, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, what? She's like, what did you guys do last night? There's beer. Like, and then I held. I got up. She's like a little lady. I got up and like held on to her like this, and I went into her house and passed out on their couch until like 4 PM. So that was like my first blackout.
That is
awesome.
amazing. That is amazing.
So I passed out in my good friend's backyard. His mom woke me up as well. The second story is my first IGN holiday party.
Yeah.
What year is this?
2007.
Okay.
I'm 22 years old. I was actually 23 at that point. and I just turned 23. And
That was when we did really big holiday.
yeah, we had
Yeah.
a really big holiday
Really
party. That was when we
big.
were with MySpace and all those guys. It was a huge
it was
holiday party.
This is the Medea one or whatever.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Indian food restaurant.
Majul.
Majul, yeah, with the
Yeah,
2 stories and
that
stuff
was
like that.
Oh, Medea is the cool black lady that Tyler Perry tells stories.
Yes.
It's true. I like those movies.
So I, I go and I'm really excited, right? I'm fresh. I'm 6 months out of college. I have this great job. I'm super, super excited. I'm with my friends, with my buddies, and with Greg and everybody. Now, a guy that we work with named Mark Nix is getting, drinking, but keeps feeding me shots and pretending that he's doing them with me. And I keep doing these shots. And before I know it, I am fucking bombed. And this is a point where everything kind of shuts off for me. So I only know because Greg has pictures. and we have stories.
Keep in mind that Colin and I had only had like the one story we've told a million times about Denny's. And like, when did you get here? Like the summertime,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, July. Yeah.
We hadn't hung out much, but you are at some point you go outside to puke, and when
Right.
you came back in, I am like fucking Peter Parkering you. I'm just like cha, 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 cha. And you're just like in hysterics, and Brudvig's like waving me away, but I have like no sympathy.
Yeah, so at some point I go to a bench, like where you walk into a door and you walk through another door. So there's a bench there. Like as if you're you're like waiting to like get a table or something like that. And
The mezzanine.
And I sit down and I pass out. And that's where the first, group of pictures comes from. But then I end up outside puking, and then I end up laying on the ground outside of the restaurant on like the concrete sidewalk, passed out. This is when like there's pictures of me and Brudvig, you're taking pictures, pictures of me and Will Tuttle, all these things. So a guy that had just started working with us named Mike Thompson, who doesn't work with us anymore, he moved back to New York City. He lived in the neighborhood. Put me over his shoulder and walked me to his apartment, and then put me into his spare bedroom, and then he went back out to party. Now when he came home, I had somehow ended up in his bed. I woke up at some point and ended up like going to the bathroom probably, and then walking into his room and going into his bed. So he wakes me up and sends me back to the other bedroom, and then I wake up like 8 or 9 in the morning, and I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck did I do? And I'm like young and stupid. I call Mark Ryan, who was my boss at the time, try to quit in shame, like being like, I know you're gonna fire me, so I offer you my resignation. And he starts laughing. He's like, dude, your story's not even the most embarrassing story of last night.
Oh no,
And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, I'm not gonna say names, but he's like, someone couldn't get back into their apartment last night, so they slept in the driveway of another person's apartment until morning came so they could get back into their apartment. He's like, that's the worst story of the holiday party. And as I look back and like more and more on it, I'm like, that wasn't that big of a deal. But I was fucking mortified. If you want to talk about like the most mortified I've ever been, not only one of the most hungover points I've ever been, that was the most mortifying hour probably in my life when I woke up and I'm like, oh my god, like what the fuck did I do last night? And then I tried to resign because I was like, I was embarrassed and ashamed. I was like, you guys are gonna fire me. So. Everyone thought it was so funny when I took that day off, by the way. I came out of the office, everyone was like, that was the fucking best.
Oh no, dude, the IGN Christmas parties are infamous for that. And there was one year, I think it was the year after that, we had it. Well, I forget the name of the place, but it was the place. There was a 2-story place where Hillary was actually doing that game, where Hillary Goldstein was doing a game where.
Well, this is the Gold Star game.
This is the Gold Star game.
That was 2010, I think.
And
Right?
that- and
no, 2009.
I just remember.
And this is a resurrection of a classic IGN game that's like from like the founder days, right? Where it was like Chris Carl doing that to like all the editors, and Jeremy Dunham having like 1 million on him. And so we finally psyched Hillary up to do it again for this holiday party.
Yeah.
It was one of the worst decisions
It was
ever
horrible.
made.
And at the end, like you would do a shot, you get a gold star, and then at the end, whoever won, that part was never actually worked out. You don't know what you got. You didn't get anything except for, it turns out, a wicked hangover and maybe getting hit by something.
I believe Bromley's the one who won, and
Oh, he
he's
won.
documented it many times that he puked in that stairwell out there.
He won. But I remember I didn't get particularly drunk at that Christmas party. I think I kind of had, gosh, that's right. I think my wife had like left, or my then girlfriend at the time had left, like on a long trip, and I was missing her, so I was a little depressed.
Aww.
And I just remember sitting outside. I think I was smoking a cigarette, and
Looking
cool
super
as fuck.
cool.
And IGN employees, one by one, would start to walk out very slowly, like Plants vs. Zombies, and just almost get hit by cars every single time. And I would pull them back, and I would hail a cab, and I'd put it in, and I'd like level up, and then two of them would just kind of keep going back out, and it would just be like, I mean, it was so funny.
Brilliant.
And I made so many friends that day because like the next. I think that was like on a Thursday or Friday, and then everyone slept in. And then Monday, people would come up to me like, "Dude, thank you so much for putting me in the cab." And I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, I just remember like there was one I had to yell at a cab driver because they won't take you if you're too drunk, but they're supposed to. They're not supposed to turn you away. And I was like, me and the guy that worked at the place were like screaming at one dude to take this girl home from accounting, and she was just like, "I'm so glad you did that because I was gonna I couldn't move."
Yeah, literally the worst hangover I've ever had that I had blocked out of my memory is another similar. It's a merging of all these stories. Holiday party. I think it was the year after that one, I believe, where we went to the nightclub across the street
The
from
one all
Kate
red.
O'Brien's.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
And then we all went to Kate O'Brien's afterward.
No, that was the night. That was the
the other
Star
one?
night or whatever.
Okay.
Because I have photos of me. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked. I went there and it's super embarrassing because it was like one of those like moments the next morning where Christine had to be like, "I'm not signing up for this. This is not cool." You know what I mean? Of like what had happened though. This is another classic IGN Beyond story too. I'm not making this up. I believe it was a day that some Uncharted 2 news had come out. And it was something where we destroyed it. It happened in an instant, and we had videos up and articles and conversations and all this awesome content up about it. And then we had a podcast Beyond as well. Nailed it, got it all up. And so I was working pretty much right up until the party, got it live, left for the party, got to the party, super elated. Everyone's telling us what a great job we did. I checked my phone or Twitter, and some kids are like, "Podcast Beyond is a Beastie Boys song," and I was like, "God damn it!" Because there had been publishing problems, and I had to upload a bunch of tests to figure out what was wrong. And one of the things I uploaded was the Beastie Boys.
That's amazing.
And all it took was the Beastie Boys. But I called engineering; they fixed it while we were at the party, so it was back to everything's great. We destroyed it today. It was one of those like, this is why we do this. This is what we're all about. This is awesome. We did so well. So I'm already drinking hard. On top of that, there was an IGN editor there who will remain nameless, who got as fucked up as I did, who was drinking for the first time with us in like ever. No one had ever seen this person drink. So I'm doing shots with this, blah, blah, blah. And literally the final memory I have of that party is Craig Bardon at the bar going, "Craigie, no one will do these shots of Fernet with me." And then it's all just blackout. I don't remember anything.
There's not one single solitary good next morning that started the night before with, "No one will do these shots of Fernet
Yeah.
with me."
That's a Bardon and Nate special.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, that's
And
a Randy Lastimosa special.
Yeah,
right
I
there.
just wake up and it's just paralyzing headache already. The worst blind. I try to sleep. Usually it's one of those things. If I wake up hungover, I can go to the bathroom, get some water, come back, sleep another 15, and it's better. You know what I mean? Nothing is working here.
Real quick, what is Fernet exactly? I had it for the first time last night.
It's sort of like, you've had it.
It's like
yeah, I tried
ink
it last
oil.
night.
It is pure evil in
It's
liquid form.
it's an aperitif. It's a digestive one, right? Like one of those aperitifs.
Digestif.
Yeah, thank you. That's what
It was delicious. I really liked it.
It's like a Jaeger. If you've had Jaeger, it's got a
Jaeger's
similar
the
consistency
worst.
taste to
Just
Jaeger.
a little bit. Just,
Oh, yeah,
there you
yeah.
go. Get up on.
I was with
on it.
Ray Gutierrez, and he was
We
like,
know.
"Oh, you got to have Fernet." And I was like, "What's that?" He's like, "It's like a San Francisco thing. Just
It is a
try
San
it.
Francisco
It's good.
thing.
Yeah.
It's-
yeah.
yeah.
There's a fun music video you need
And then
to
I've seen
watch.
nothing but like videos or billboards all around
Yeah.
town. So
Wake up, blinding headache, sleep it off, doesn't work. I'm gonna make it to work. And Christine's leaving, and I'm like, "I'll see you at work." She still worked out. She's like, "No, you won't." I'm like, "No, I'm coming in." And like, could not start it, could not get it up, could not get going at all. And so eventually I woke up and went to I limped out into my living room and I had like a bar top and I put the computer on it and laid my head next to the computer and like checked emails and like IM'd everybody. But and like Christine came back and she was like understandably mad. And I'm like, "I'm sorry. Like, I don't know, Bardon and Fernet." She's like, "Do you remember anything afterwards?" I'm like, "No." She's like, you were walking into parking meters. We were going to walk the dog. I was going to walk the dog for you. And you're like, "No, I'll do it." So I took you out there and you were just getting pulled. You fell. You hit the wall. Oh my God. And then eventually I went in the bathroom and at some point lost my balance and tore the towel rack off the wall.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
And it was just one of those things. She told me all this, and I'm like, "This is not who I want to be to this girl. Like, I don't want to be you know what I mean?" It's like I told her, like, "I'm sorry." Like, you know what I mean? Like, I fucked up. I
You're
got
a
lost
big
in the
guy
moment.
to be stumbling around.
That's the
haphazardly
thing, right?
drunk.
She's a little girl, and like I'm just
not
like some
big.
stupid
She's
bear
very
that
small.
can't stand up.
Yeah.
No good.
So going to me,
Yeah.
that holiday party you're just talking about.
Infamous.
you're the unnamed person, right?
I was an intern at that point, and I'm interning, and then I'll never forget this. It was the day of the holiday party, and then Jessica Chovat came in and was like, "Hey, you're not invited to the party." And I'm like, "Cool," and I didn't go. She was messing with me. She was just joking with me. I didn't go that night because I thought I wasn't invited, and I felt bad. But no, I was actually invited. And the next day she was like, "Dude, why weren't you there? I was messing with you." I'm like, "Oh man," and that's when I learned IGN just likes messing with people.
No,
Yeah.
Jessica Chobot likes
That
messing
too,
with people
that too.
I
But
did,
anyways.
yes, but Jess was a master of that.
2 days ago, I punched Vince in the arm, and then the next day, me and Brian Altano flipped Brian Albert's desk. So we still like messing with each other.
That's
I
very
just
true.
look over and I see Brian Altano and Greg just wrecking Brian Albert's desk. Like, flipping his computer over.
Because he tweeted a photo of a burrito at us.
Done. That was hilarious.
What's funny about that is that had happened moments before I walked up. I had no idea this was a thing. I had no idea you guys were doing that. And what was the first thing I said to you this morning? Why don't you haze this guy more?
Oh, yeah. You're like, what?
I was like, why don't you guys give the associates more crap? And you're
That's
like,
true.
dude, you
That's
should have been
true.
here 5 seconds ago.
Someone told me that, like, because when I started, people did that shit. When I was an intern, way back in the day, 10
they
years
messed
ago,
with you.
they really fucked with me, and they
Dude,
did.
used to
They
mess
did with the other.
Fran.
They
They used to mess with Fran.
Oh yeah,
Like
still
crazy.
do.
Fort still gets messed.
Fort Fran was
Always.
notorious. Remember Fort Fran?
Oh yeah.
So I remember I sat next to Nix for a long time. And Nix is our database editor, and I have a good rapport with him.
IGN
We're friends.
legend.
Yeah, he is. He's been there forever. And I remember him saying, well, first I said to Greg, no one fucked with you, right?
Yeah, I started, and there was one night, 3 months in, where I was working super late with him on some embargo or Metal Gear thing or whatever that was going up Crazy Japan time. And I'm over his shoulder pointing at stuff, we're working the deli. He finally just stops and he turns to me, he's like, why does nobody fuck with you? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you started here and no one gives you shit. We give everybody else shit. And I'm like, oh, I guess it's just because I fit in. You know what I mean? For me, IGN was a weird thing where I came in and was just boop, fit perfectly with everybody. It was like I just got there and I was that person already.
See, it took me a while, but then I got under these two, Nick and Greg. I'm you guys' boys, so no one will ever.
You did a
fuck
really
me.
good. You did a really
Except for
smart
Alex
thing.
Salamita.
It's like prison rules.
You did a really smart thing when you interned for us. The day you were done interning, Tim wrote each individual letter was actually handcrafted. He typed up nice letters for all of us, signed them saying thank you for all of the stuff he'd learned, and I was like, that's a pro move.
That's a
Hey,
He
the
got-
fact
he
that
got
he
in there.
remembers that.
I
I didn't
remember
know
that.
you remembered that, but
I
that's
remember
awesome.
That
It's
was
very cool.
it meant something to me.
I didn't get anything.
By the way, side note,
didn't know
if
you
Mark
did.
Nix ever said, "Why does anyone screw with you?" I would be terrified. Mark Nix
and I have a great
Nix
report
is
for.
the king of the long con. One time we didn't know what it was for. I'm pretty sure it still hasn't. The joke, the actual punchline hasn't happened yet. We walked in. Remember we said that cage in the old office? I don't think you were there. You didn't intern for us.
I
so
was
you
in the
interned
old
here.
office now.
We had this cage, the equipment cage. It was actually a physical cage. One day we came in after Christmas break, and there was a camera pointed at a box.
I
And
remember
the,
this.
good.
no one knows where the feed went to, and no one had the balls to pick up and see what was underneath the box. We all knew that it had something to do with Fran, and we did not know. But I was like, for the longest time, I made it my life's just my goal in life to not get on Mark Nix's bad side ever. 'Cause
That's
I'm
He's a great dude.
terrified.
I
of
don't
that
even.
human
I don't
being.
even see. I don't even think it's like when I talk about
I'm not terrified and he's gonna kill me. I'm like, I don't want to.
you don't want to be on the other end of it.
on the
getting
other end
shit
of
from
that
him.
bad boy.
Gotcha.
I don't think I have a good
He
enough
plays the long game.
ego.
One of my favorite Mark Nix stories was back when I lived out in Burlingame, way the hell out there, right?
You lived in Burlingame?
Yeah.
I don't know that. I
Yeah.
lived in San Mateo for a while.
Oh, cool. We should. Well, I knew. Yeah, we didn't know each other then.
No,
Yeah.
you didn't like me.
No, you didn't like me.
You were loud.
I was. I'm so quiet now. So active. I had a birthday party out there, and a bunch of people were out there, and we were eating and drinking. And we were gonna go back to my house and play Mario Kart on Wii because it had just come out, and I'm a big
course.
Mario Kart fan. And Nick showed up with 15 minutes to go in the birthday party, before we said we were gonna break it down and go somewhere else. He shows up in this flashy, shiny blue shirt, collar that Nick's never wears. I've never seen him wear it, and never wore it again. Never did. Showed up. 15 minutes. I don't think ordered a drink. Just was like, oh hey, sat down, gave me a card, was right next to us. I'm like, all right, now we're gonna go play Mario, and he's like, great, and then just never came. So he drove all the way out there for 15 minutes, just sitting there.
I don't understand this guy because I've worked at IGN almost 4 years now, and he's been there the whole time. And me and him I haven't seen any of this in action. But then I hear stories of this guy, and I'm like, you're a legend.
There was
Nix is legendary.
Do you have the holiday story? Because I can't get that right. But
Which one?
the one where he showed up in a limo.
No, I don't remember that one. I remember there was a 6-month period where he didn't talk to anyone. That was interesting.
Yes.
And then there's an old story that this predates me, but there's an old story that it was he didn't like another editor that worked at IGN, and he grew out this big beard, and apparently this editor couldn't grow a beard. It was splotchy and always wore the same thing. And for Halloween one year, no one knew why Nix was growing the beard out. For Halloween one year, he came as the guy and drove the editor almost to sheer madness. I mean, it was threats of death threats and things like that because he had shaved blotches into his own beard and dressed exactly like the guy. And it wasn't. you never know with Mark Nix whether it's coming from a place of
Love, right?
good
Yeah.
or just extraordinary, like go and kill yourself right now.
When we went to go see Rambo in theaters, remember we took the day off to go see Rambo? He had done something similar where he was like growing out a beard, and then Rambo Day, we all go to the theater and show up, and he shows up cut into a mustache, and then he's dressed like Rambo.
It was so good. But what's amazing is that if I did that, I would want accolades. I would want Colin to be like, Scarpino, good job. Nix will show up.
No,
you
what do
will,
you mean?
You will laugh at him, and he will not acknowledge it at all. And then he'll just leave. And you're
So-
like, that was genius.
So
he
the
knows he's
story that I
legendary.
heard, and like somebody needs to correct me if I'm wrong on this because it was before my time. He showed up to a holiday party in a limo with girls, like
This
with
sounds
his-
familiar.
With
Yeah.
his arm around
There's
girls.
so many legends.
And it walked, and like Craig Barradon was outside smoking
Smoking,
because
yeah.
he's still one of the cool kids. And Nix goes
Smoking
in
is
for a
not cool.
second,
Yeah, it is. Looks awesome.
leaves, gets back in the limo, and drives off.
Yeah.
Doesn't even go to the
Only
holiday
person
party.
that saw him was Craig.
Yeah.
That was it.
But it was
And it
worth
was
it.
worth it for Craig to see him. He is legendary.
In another Knicks Legends, this should just be all in the all Mark Knicks podcast. And another legendary Knicks story, when he was an intern there at IGN, right? That's how he started. And you know his history too. Eventually, they had to come up to him and be like, "Hey, Mark, why aren't you cashing your checks?" Because I guess he was getting paychecks and not cashing them. He's like, I've never talked to him about it, but that is definitely a legend that was passed down to me.
I would not be surprised if he was a billionaire. Like if he secretly was doing something that was changing the world, I would not be surprised at all.
That's
what,
amazing.
what I love about, and I tell people this all the time, is that I sat next to Knicks for years, and we built like a really like pretty solid friendship with each other, like a good relationship with each other. And I love him because I know like Knicks is like very mysterious. He might not talk to you for a while, whatever, but he's always got your back. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
And like, and that's what I love that guy. Like I like get along with him so well, and we understand each other. And he's a huge PlayStation fan too. He knows. There's not many people I would admit know more about PlayStation than me or you do. He knows more about PlayStation. Honestly, like he's like real into that shit.
It's one of those weird things, like,
Yeah, not good knowledge base.
when we talk about IGN, right? People talk about like us or Naomi or all these people who are on camera, front facing, or Mitch or somebody who's got a lot of bylines and stuff. But like, Nix is one of those people that is IGN. You know what I mean? Like that place wouldn't be the same without him.
No, he does very thankless work. So
Yeah.
And also, our boss's boss, Fran Mirabella. Or maybe your guys' boss. My boss's boss, Fran Mirabella. We all like giving him shit because it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Mark Nix,
Too easy. So
the
fun.
12 days of Fran miss.
There's videos that are still
Where
out there.
for 12 days, he pranked Fran in a way that I could never, and I will never be the human being that I should be because of that. But yeah, videos of this, of him just pranking Fran.
My
day
favorite one,
after
I mean,
day.
Fort Fran gets a
Fort
lot of
Fran is amazing.
Fort Fran gets a lot of kicks, but my favorite is when he flew a kite over Fran while at his desk.
with a fan.
Fran's on the phone. Fran's on his phone doing business, and all of a sudden, Nix just stands up, turns the fan, and then gets a kite. And Fran's like, he's trying to work and talk on the phone at the same time.
It's so good.
Brilliant. So
Yeah,
brilliant.
Fort Fran is my favorite, but
So what is Fort Fran, Colin?
I think it actually predates us, Fort Fran.
no, it does. It was in
It does.
between my
Most definitely.
It definitely
It was in
does.
between my
But it's a great story.
Yeah, it was. We'll go ahead and tell it. It was in between my internship and when I started. So I think it's like, what would you say? When did you start?
Oh god, I started in 05.
So it must have been.
So I think you were before me.
Yeah, I was an intern in 04.
Yeah.
But it must have been somewhere in between when I left and went back to college and
Yeah.
when you started or whatever. Fort Fran was. Do you ever see pictures of it already?
No, I have never. I just heard the story and I thought it was genius.
So Fort Fran, as I recall being told, is like Nick's building like a huge construction around Fran's desk. And like it was a building of and he like of boxes.
Cardboard boxes, yeah.
And he
Intricate.
like an intricate, and he called it, I think wrote on it like
Yeah, there was a sign above it. That said
Fort Fran, and like he built this whole like, and that's when we had huge. You didn't ever go to the old office, but in the old office we had massive desks because even when we moved to the new office, we had our old desks, but they actually cut them down. So we had like these huge desks, and he built this whole huge construction around his desk, and then like where he sat and like where his shelf was and stuff like that. And it was this huge. But there's pictures of it.
And Fran, being Fran, didn't tear it down for years.
Of course.
And you had to get it in order to get to your desk. You had to crawl like a lemur, like just burrow down through all the things and come back up. So that's why, needless to say, I never wanted to get on Mark Nix's bad side because the man is he's too smart and he's too patient.
Yeah, he is. And I loved this year. I hadn't seen anything out of him in a while. And then when we did the White Elephant gift exchange or whatever, his present was a pillow.
Oh,
that he
God.
got
Did he
specially
do that?
made. Yeah.
Yeah.
He got specially made with Fran's face on it.
What's
It was Fran getting like blasted with like a Nerf gun or something.
Yeah.
He's like,
What's amazing about that is Darren Brazil, who sits right next to me, won that pillow.
Yeah.
And now I get to look at it every day while Darren's gone on maternity.
The other one, great, remember, is when just out of the blue, it was coming up on Christmas, but out of the blue, Ryan Clements got a package, and he opened it up, and it was a porcelain statue of two like Greco-Roman wrestlers naked wrestling. One of them like hand on the other guy's junk, and they're like, it's like mid suplex, but like one's like all up on his junk, and there's no note, no nothing, and Clements opened it up, and he's like, what? And it's like a long time for us to figure out it was Nick. I think we all thought it
course it
was
was
but
Nick.
finally Nick's admitted it was him.
Of course, remember that one. That's genius.
Dude, he's amazing.
So before we wrap up, Ballard had one last story, right? The story of the engagement party or the
Wedding?
Yeah, if we don't want to.
No.
do you mean if we don't want to? Get in here.
I think it's a good bow. You're the guest. Get on the mic.
All right. Well, this is a very embarrassing story. I don't
Good,
know. Okay.
good.
All right. So I was at a friend's wedding 2 months ago in December.
Diet root beer.
Charles in the bathroom. Good.
Get it for me anyway.
Okay, I'll make this quick. So
You're fine.
my buddy was like, "Hey, listen, the one thing I want from you for my wedding is I want stories, and I've kind of got this kind of reputation of giving stories of,
Debauchery.
debauchery and shenanigans. So he's like, I want stories. I was like, okay, I'll get you stories. And so at the wedding dinner, the rehearsal dinner, I was like, okay, how can I give this guy stories? And I like looked down at his thing and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have one of every beer. Like that was my thing, right? So I did. I was going one for one with my buddy Micah, and finally at the end of it, like it's about 30 minutes before we're gonna leave. All of a sudden I'm like, this is happening. I gotta go puke. So I was like, like dinner rehearsal. I'm like, excuse me, I'll be right back. And I'm like, it's building. I'm like, I gotta go. And the bathroom is upstairs. So I get upstairs, I'm about to run up, and I look up, and here's this like old man with like his little like 3-year-old son like walking him down one step at a time down standing. And I'm like, oh no. So I'm like sitting there like, hurry up. And then they finally get down like third to the last step, and I just can't hold anymore. And I just go like right over the kid, like right past the adult, like just all over the stairs. And then the kid like the dad like picks his kid up and like runs him off. And I'm like, okay, let's go. And I run up the stairs and like I get up and I'm about to push the door open. I puke more and like onto the door. And I like push it open and I go in and I start like into a urinal, and I'm like, why am I puking in a urinal? So I turn around to the sink and I start puking in the sink. I mean, there's like literally a trail, and then like it looks like a horror scene.
They'll never know it was me.
So my buddy Eric was getting married. Somebody saw all this kind of go down, so he like runs up trying to figure see what's going on, and he walks in. He's like, Ballard, and I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. And he like looks at me. He's like assessing the situation. He's like, oh, where's Micah? And like buddy was going one for one with me, and all of a sudden from the stall we hear, I'm in here, guys.
Yeah, my story's not that bad. For me, it was the worst hangover I ever had. Was recently at this year's holiday party. We go, and it was one of those things where we're like, oh, you know what? I don't think anyone's gonna go to this year's.
I didn't go.
I didn't go either.
I didn't go either.
So nobody important went.
Wow. So I was with Alexis. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
we're going to this thing.
Yo,
And she's like,
hella
"Shh,
great.
hell yeah.
Cool.
So we go to this thing, and there was a couple people there. You guys weren't there,
It was fun.
but I was
I heard
there.
it was fun.
It was very fun. It was very fun. So all the big guys, the top notch homies of the IGNs, they're like, yo, you guys are cool. And we're like, yeah, we're pretty cool.
Yeah, we're cool.
And so they just kept getting us drinks. And me and Alexis are like, we're stupid and we're young and we're dumb and young.
Yeah, not that young.
And-
Not that young anymore.
huh?
He's 24.
You get old, son.
Anyways, bad news. It was all bad news. And we're just like stupid and loving it. We're like, hey, you guys are talking to us. So I drank way too much. Now, let it be known, I've never thrown up from drinking.
You used to
this day.
not drink.
Wow, that's
I
crazy.
used to.
Pure one.
Pure one.
Yeah,
There was a
pure
while
one.
where you were like, Nick, you're super cool. I look up to you. You're probably the coolest person I know. You might be the coolest person on the planet, maybe the universe. But I'm never gonna drink with you, bro.
It was something like that. But yeah, it took a while. Anyway, I drink. I don't drink often now, but when I do drink a lot. But that night I drank more than that, and I was like, oh man. And I live far away from here, so I had to take Bart. I had to get home, and it was like from Bart to my house is like an hour walk uphill.
Jesus.
It was a struggle. It was the biggest struggle of my life, and I'll never forget the next morning getting up and being like, I want to call out so bad. But it was like game of the year time, and at IGN, that's a big deal. And I'm like, I'm responsible for things. I'm a big boy now, and I got to go. So I went to work. I stumbled there, and I had to stand in a room with Fran for hours, screening videos, pretending I was not about to die. And it was the worst day of my life. Just staying there, just like, I'm good, guys. I'm good.
Tim, by the way, for those of you who don't know, he's the kind of guy that if he's bleeding out, but you still need him to be there, he won't say anything about it. You know, he's got a gut wound.
I'll complain about it, but I'll be there.
You've got a little bit more complaining. Like sometimes I'll be like,
That happens when you get more comfortable.
yeah, like before I used to be like, hey Tim, can you do this for me? And without question, you'd go
jump
do
at
it.
it.
And now you're like, wait, why?
Yeah.
Do I have to?
I gotta
Is there
ask
someone
you
else that
why.
I can do that?
Well, because I learned you, Nick. I learned your games.
There's no games.
He solved your
Sometimes
Rubik's
I just
Cube.
want you to go do that. Like the other day, you literally were like this. I was like, hey, can you grab me some clear plastic cups? He's like, we don't have any of those. And then you just left. And I was like, I'm so confused by that statement. I don't
Just
know
to
if
let
that
you know,
means something.
that is not true at all. He said, hey, the cups you got aren't good enough. I want ones with handles. And I'm like, okay. So I instantly run back.
And then you went like this. No, you're wrong.
No, I didn't say you're wrong. I was like, I'm pretty sure
It's
we
a
use
quarrel.
these.
I know they're
So
married.
I go back, and I confirmed that you were right. I watched the video. I was like, oh, Nick is right.
You were gone for 20 minutes. I knew you were going back and watching that video.
But before I did that, I ran to the kitchen, and I could not find the cups you're talking about. So I ran and watched the video just to confirm, and I was like, oh, crap, he's right. So then I went around the office finding dirty cups with handles to go wash them. And by the time I got back, you already did that.
Yeah.
I love you, Nick. I'll
Love
do
you.
anything for you.
Love you.
Damn. I'm feeling that.
That's some
My
real shit right there.
topic is fast.
Okay.
Okay.
And
so-
Furious?
Fast? No, maybe.
I like
depending
that.
on how you go with it. Steve Funkhauser, good friend of mine on Twitter here, asks the question. He's at Ron Check Designs for those of you who want to tweet at him.
Oh, what's he design?
I don't know. I haven't
Homes?
quite looked that up
Or
yet.
is
We're not
is he
actually
an
that close
artist?
yet. In my mind, he designs sweet like prefabs, like
What's a
prefab homes.
Prefab. Oh, okay.
What does that
You
mean?
know, when they like the Dutch,
Prefabricated home.
the Dutch design these cool homes where you just like they're built off site and they come and they erect them, and then they're just awesome. I don't know if Steve does that or not. But his
I like to
question
think
is,
of him like doing like like you have a nice like bush outside and he makes it look like a swan.
Yes.
ooh, that's pretty cool.
Bush designers.
No,
Bush
no,
landscape
no.
artists, I
There
believe
you
is
go.
what they're called.
Bush designers.
Steve asks, if you could punch a famous person in the face, who would that be and why?
Wow, I don't want to punch anybody.
You don't?
You don't want to punch anyone?
No, I don't like. Why would I want to punch anybody?
You wouldn't want to punch like Hogan just to see what would happen?
No, he's already chopped me. I already know what happens. It hurts.
Yeah,
real
Greg
bad.
had to one-up me on that one.
Here we go.
Just in case you were curious, I had a great video at E3 a few years ago with Hulk Hogan. It was really funny. It was awesome. You know, people were really into it. And then Greg had to go and one up the video by doing a video that he thought was better and, you know,
I mean, I was
crazier.
signed to go talk to Hulk Hogan again because clearly Colin couldn't get the job done, just
Right.
like most things around here. And you know,
Why
I had
did
to
you-
go in
why
there
did
and
you
be Greg
tap
Miller
me
about
on
it,
the
because
shoulder
you know what
when
I'm
you
talking
said
about.
that?
You know what it's like.
Am I in that bucket?
I'm just saying, you get me. You know what I'm talking about with
Okay,
Moriarty
so
over
we're
here.
cool, but he can't do anything.
Yeah.
But I can do stuff.
Yeah,
I get
fine.
stuff done.
Whatever. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Whatever. I don't know. Anybody, what's your answer? Who do you
I'm
want?
gonna go
gonna go-
Madonna.
You're gonna go
I don't
Madonna?
like Madonna.
You don't like her?
Something about her pisses me off.
You don't want to just
punching
punch her. You're
Madonna
just
in the
going to
face.
step up to her and try to
She's
haymaker
always-
her face.
It was when she came out with that song with the clocks.
Yeah. I don't know.
What the
that
hell?
song.
2004? Hang up, hold up.
Die Another Day? No,
It had
I
a
don't
really
know.
annoying
Material
synth
Girl.
beat. Nah. It was a.
Give me some lyrics.
I don't know the lyric. I'm hung up on you. I don't know something like that. But the beat was like.
Is it the one from Austin Powers?
No, it was maybe a James Bond thing. No, that
Austin
was Die Another
Powers?
Day, and
That
that
was
was
Die Another Day.
awesome. I liked that one.
That was cool.
The one she had after that. At the VMAs, they did a mashup with the Gorillas, and I liked the Gorillas, and I did not like her at all. She needed to leave.
Right.
That was her coming back, and I remember her doing the interviews, and I was pissed, and I was like, I want to
Yeah.
punch you. So that's my answer.
That's yours. Wow. Okay.
So
I'm not down with this. Hold on. Keep it going
We're gonna probably
until
get
we're gonna
flagged.
get.
We're going to get
right
flagged
here.
for this.
Oh, I'm wrong.
We're gonna get flagged.
But
Now,
there's a part
mind
that's
you,
not.
I don't think none of us punch people in the face anymore.
Yeah.
This is just a purely theoretical.
See, I'm a total pussy
What
about
if?
it. I don't want to do it.
You wouldn't do it?
No, I don't want to do it because I just don't like that. Because this is people want to punch me in the face all the time.
Everyone wants to punch you in the face.
Not
I'd probably, you
everyone.
know what? I'd probably punch you in the face. I don't know why.
I'd like to see that fight.
It would be awesome.
I'm sure it's coming. But
You
over
would
a
tear
pound-
me apart. Here's why. I am out of shape. I got shoulder problems. I got knee problems.
But you strike me as you. Here's how you. I would say something to finally push you over the edge. I would. It would probably you'd be.
I would never hit you.
You'd be fired up about
I'd
something.
punch a wall. I would throw something through a window, but I would never hit another.
Well, it's
human
good. I've been shadowboxing out back lately.
being. Have you mastered the move? Never mind. Continue.
Anyways, I think I'd push you over the edge finally with a little joke I was doing, some little joke, and then you'd come at me, but you'd be coming at me from a place of anger.
Or I thought
So
you were
that's
saying
what
from
would
a
make you-
low place.
No, you'd have the center of gravity on
I
me
could
as
come
well.
up on him.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I see.
I got nothing. I don't wanna punch you.
I get snippy sometimes with people, but you know when to not. Well, actually, that's not true at all. Greg has this fun thing he does where he knows you're pissed off and he just pushes that button
No, he's-
over and over
See,
again.
I
Over and over
don't.
again.
I don't. When you're pissed off and I know you're pissed off, I'm quiet. Yeah. Or I try to alleviate it with a compliment. Today you were mad during Up at Noon, so when you came out, I pointed out to the audience how good you look. This is a fine ensemble.
Yeah, you do look
And it
good
worked.
today.
Thank you.
You look really
Thank
good today.
Yeah. Thank
You know, you'd look a little bit better if you smoked.
I'm really
Just
attracted
saying.
to you right now.
I was noticing you looking at me today, and I want you to know I was looking at you too.
Is a ballard a type of bird?
That's
a
a
mallard.
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 Yeah.
There you go.
Close enough.
It's a duck, male duck.
Ballard, is there someone you would punch in the face?
Dude, I'm still thinking.
Neil
really-
Druckmann.
I think for fun, just Neil Druckmann, just take him out. You gotta,
awesome.
if you want to be the best, you gotta take down the best.
Neil will kick my ass. Actually, I think Neil.
Neil looks spry.
It looks like
fine.
It seems like you look at Neil Druckmann, you're like I can break
He-
this
he-
guy
like-
in half. But it would be like one of those movie things where you hit him and he just goes.
He looks well.
He just comes back,
Exactly, yeah.
pushes his hair back. He's like,
He's unassuming, right? He's
Yeah.
very unassuming. But like, I think Neil, he's got that Israeli fight in him.
I'm gonna pick Collins for him. I'm just gonna throw it out there, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Okay.
Shia LaBeouf.
No.
No.
No. I have no beef with him. I actually kind of like Greg's answer.
You have no boof with him.
I have no. Yeah, it's right. Oh dear. I like Greg's answer in the sense that, there's a lot of internet tough guys that are, talk shit about us, from time to time, and
Wahlberg.
none of them ever do it in person because they're cowards. But
You're just throwing the gloves down on that one.
but the intent is
we
there.
talk about that all the time.
Yeah, I've said that a million times. They're cowards. The intent is there, right? And I've done like Greg's talked about this before in the past. Like I've tried, and I think I've done a really nice job taking Greg's lead of just cleaning it up in the sense of like, I used to during Jets games be like, Mark Sanchez, you fucking suck.
Yep.
I would tweet it like every week, like you suck. Why, but like Mark Sanchez is just a dude.
Yeah.
He gets paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
He deserves ridicule, but do I really need to put that out there into the universe?
The story I always tell, and I know it's for a lot of fans out there, they've heard it right, is that I was once watching an episode of The Office, and this is not their final season, the season before that, and I turned to Christine, I'm like, this is terrible. This is so bad. And I whipped out the phone and started writing a tweet that was something along the lines of, at NBC needs to take at The Office out back and shoot it. And Christine's like, yeah, she saw me type it, and then she saw me start deleting it. She's like, why are you deleting it? Like, and I'm like, this is exactly what people do to me. We think because they're on TV that they don't have feelings, that they didn't try hard. And yeah, somebody tried really hard to make The Office that season, and I didn't like it. And maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Different strokes, yada yada yada. That doesn't mean I have to be such a dick about it. You know what I mean? Like and that's what the same thing that always happens with us, right? Where people talk shit on the internet, and this is what we talk about on the ride over here, right? Is like I'll do Twitter searches for my name in quotes because now everybody's too big of a coward to tweet at you, right? Say they don't like something about you because it's never constructive criticism. It's just that you suck. And then you find that person, I say something to them, and they're 9 times out of 10 the response is like, I'm so sorry, man. I didn't know you'd ever see it. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, They don't get the fact that you're a normal person who lives with his girlfriend and his roommate and we're barely making it. We got a dog and we're doing all this YouTube stuff on our own time for fun. You know what I mean? Like, you don't think through those steps.
Yeah.
So even if I was going to sit here and be like, I'd punch Bill Murray, which I never would. You know what I mean? Like, Bill Murray's going to see it one day and he'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
what did I do?
I
Oh my
honestly,
God, I
take
don't.
that back, Madonna. Like, I want to let you know, that was 2004, Tim. I'm a different man. That was 10 years ago.
Really, what I want one day is like 10 episodes from now, we're just in here and the door swings open and Madonna comes in. She's like, it's on!
No,
I
but
would-
seriously, though,
I
I
would-
did come to a moment where I realized, like, because I did really dislike her for a bit.
Yeah.
And then I did come to a point, I don't remember when it was, when I was like, she's not that bad. Yeah. And, like, now what's she doing? Performing at the Grammys. With who?
Macklemore.
There you go.
You know what's funny about
I love you,
Madonna?
Madge.
Ryan Stewart.
Is it Madge? Is that what they call her?
No,
Madge?
what?
Madge?
They call her
Madge.
Madonna.
I don't know. They call her Madonna.
No, she has a name.
Guy
Material
Ritchie's
Girl?
wife. They still together?
Madge.
No. they broke
No,
up.
Guy Ritchie's ex-wife.
And so we're all basically gonna wuss out on this question.
So
It's not
I'm
a wuss out.
actually-
It's not a wuss out. It's about putting
I'm not
out
a
in the
mean
universe.
person
But
like
Ballard's
you.
got an answer. Ballard's got an
Well, no, my answer is we'll see now. My answer is I'm way too nice of a person to ever punch anybody,
Anyone in the face?
famous
Don't
or not
punch
famous,
people.
in the
Okay.
face. It's
No
not
one
me.
should punch people.
Can't do it.
All right, I would punch Greg in the face to make for a video because I think that might be the first million view video on GameOverGreggy.
People would love
Greg
to see
Miller
Greg get
gets punched
face.
in the just in right
Just
in his
knock the
face.
fuck out.
Just right in that cherry pie of yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right in the pecan pie. No, I wouldn't do it. And here's why. 2 reasons.
Because you're a coward.
One, I don't believe in violence. Steve Funkhauser, great question, but I don't believe in violence. 2, you have abnormal strength. I've said this
Yeah.
before. So punching you would probably break every bone in my hand.
Whoa, that's legit, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a bear. So I would be terrified that I'd hurt
Well, this
myself.
is the
and have to go to
story
physical therapy.
of
I'd
the other
fucking
day.
kill Greg. if I
Oh,
wanted to.
yeah. We've gone through this on a conversation with Colin. This is the story from the other day when I jokingly punched Vince in the arm and everyone freaked out. And I was like, oh, I guess it's harder than I thought.
I was like, I couldn't believe that. I was like, that was like a real punch. That would have knocked me out.
What did you come
That, like,
back
that-
and just put all your weight in?
no, I
Dude,
said
that
it
was
was
a
like
hard punch,
I
man.
said it was like 10 to 20%, and I still think
No,
that's
there's no way.
I still think that's correct
No,
in the
there's
amount of
You
percentage
would
I was
have
throwing.
punched right through his fucking body if that was 10% of your punch, Greg. I know you like Superman, but let's tone
I'm
it
just
down
saying.
a little bit.
Vince said it wasn't painful. It was just shocking.
I was shocked. I was standing right there.
I think
like,
it made a cool noise.
it hurt. Like it sounded like it hurt. I think Vince took it like a fucking man.
Yeah, well,
That
he's
would've
a
been
man.
like-
He's a big man. I like him.
Vince is a cool kid.
That would
both
I
of
would have
them.
probably cried if you hit me that hard. Now I've told you before, and there's a conversation with Colin about it, so we won't go too deep into it. But that I have a chance to just get you if the fight goes the right way. You know, I have a chance to get you, and it's
I agree
just
with
it's
that.
just
I
swinging.
think, but I think
I'm
that-
stronger than I look. You know,
You
I
got
was a
that
scrappy
fight
hockey
stuff.
player
Yeah, you
for a
got the
long
hockey
time.
fight and stuff in you.
You know,
I
if I
think-
can get one of those swings in, you know, before
Yeah, if
you
you
got
can land it, yeah. Because I'm gonna go for the ground. I want the ground game.
Oh,
I want
I'd be done if you got
Here's
your
my
hands
issue with it, though.
Yeah.
I think that because you two have known each other for so long, there's so much between you, so much tension maybe, that you
Sexual.
would both...
And most of it's sexual, though.
Most of it is sexual, let's be honest. You're two very good-looking men.
That's why it's really weird staying between them.
I know. You can feel the heat, right? It's like two magnets
kinetic.
sucking together.
They generate heat.
I don't know. I don't know anything about science. That I think you'd both be on pure adrenaline. So, Colin, I don't know that you'd be able to... Like, even if you put everything behind that and you landed it square in the jaw, Greg might just push right through that. I'd be thinking Plan B.
Plan B is the turtle because
Just turtle hard?
Because if that one punch
I think
doesn't
you gotta
work,
run him.
if Greg, I can out easily outrun Greg.
If I do the Neil Druckmann where you hit me and I go,
That's now called
And
the
then-
Neil Druckmann.
That's the
Yeah,
Neil
yeah.
Druckmann.
I picture Greg being like, you know, like Jason or Freddy, where it's like he walks just really slowly and deliberately, and there's really nowhere you can go.
Michael Myers.
Yeah, like he's just very like like frustratingly slowly, like you see in the movies. Like,
Yeah.
why are you going so slow? If you really want it, just go get it.
Yeah.
You know, but Greg, you know, just running away, but you can't really ever get away,
If you really want it, then
Just
go
go
get it.
right?
Colin Moriarty.
Right.
Yeah.
At no taxation.
All right.
Awesome.
what do you two
All
got?
right. Well, you guys are all very nice people.
Yeah.
So no one's getting punched in the face. Sorry.
Go for it,
You want me to
Except
go?
maybe Greg.
Yes, you.
So, in the coming days, the Sochi Olympics begin in
Oh,
Russia,
here we go.
in southwestern Russia on the Black Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what you think about. So in 1980, you know anything about the 1980 Moscow Olympics? By chance?
That's the one we won the hockey game.
That was in Lake Placid.
Miracle on Ice.
Yeah, that was the Miracle on Ice. That was that year. But in Moscow, there was Olympics that year,
Sure.
but they
believe
were
it.
boycotted by a lot of countries because of the Soviet invasion of
Did
Afghanistan.
Carter boycott those, or was that?
Yeah, it was Carter.
Yeah.
So it was right before Reagan got elected. And I'm wondering, so there's a big controversy about the games this year because Russia has strict anti-homosexuality laws. And it's creating a bit of a rift or whatever with the international community, especially with the West, because we have a much more accepting view of homosexuality. Most people do.
Right.
The United States, you know, has a lot of people that are anti-homosexual
Sure.
marriage and stuff like that. But
they're
I think
dying
generally
out.
in accepting, you know, that you can be, it's not illegal to be gay, right? And I'm wondering if you guys think that it would have been appropriate for the United States to boycott the Olympics based on Russia's treatment of homosexuals. And let me give you an example. You can't necessarily go to prison for being a homosexual in Russia right now, but you get fined for it. Pretty significant fines. Newspaper writers are getting fined like thousands of dollars for writing pieces about homosexual activists, for instance. Activists
Sorry,
are,
real quick.
Yeah.
Local press or the people who are over there for the Olympics?
The local press.
Thank you.
There's no way that they would do that to the AP.
Well, I mean, you've seen the whole thing now about like how they're all live tweeting how terrible their hotels are and yada yada.
Well, it's not really shocking. You know, it's like.
Anyways, beside the point. Sorry.
So I'm curious if like you think that it would have been appropriate for us to boycott the Olympics based on that, because I actually do. I think that the Olympics are supposed to be conducted in the spirit of like friendly competition between countries, and we always win, right? Because we have, and it's not because we're necessarily better at everything. It's because we just have the most people doing the most shit.
I was gonna
so
say we just put so many people into the Olympics.
Yeah, well, it's not even that we have more people.
I always get the no
it's just
count.
that we do everything. There's like we don't skip any event.
Yeah.
Like there's countries that won't do this or they
like
won't do that.
you want curlers? We got curlers.
Yeah, like we have a great hockey
You know what
team.
I
We have
mean?
great curlers. We have bobsledders and skiers and snowboarders and ice skaters and figure skate. You know, like there's nothing we skip. That's why we win.
I would say no, and here's why. Because I think my spirit, like the spirit of America and the spirit of that winning spirit, I want to go forward anywhere we can. You know, I want to spread the word of America anywhere we can. I want our athletes, the good people that are going to go compete for our country, to be able to go and do that and win and bring pride and show the world kind of what we're all about. And I think that that's the way you overcome that sort of prejudice, is by just basically steamrolling it, you know? That, and I love the shit out of curling. I just want to watch as much of that as humanly
Curling's
possible.
awesome, isn't it?
It's awesome. I'm not actually kidding. Like, it is an amazing
Is that the
sport.
one with the brooms? Where they
It's
go,
like shuffleboard, but on ice, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
with big
Metal things, yeah.
there's stones,
Yeah.
and you kind of just
Yeah, they slide with them.
oh man, it is.
And then
Talk
they
about a
let 'em
finesse
go.
sport. Whoo! You know, you wear like the bowling pants. You go, and you got the form as you let go of the thing.
It is
has
an
to
excellent
go.
sport.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. That's my answer.
Okay.
I wish we would have. I wish we could have. But I think as a country, we're too divided over that, right? If I was the president, which I never would be allowed to be, but if I was, I would be a ballsy, decisive, or divisive president, right? Where I would say, I'm doing this and I'm the president because you elected me, and I'm setting the tone for our country. And none of our political leaders do that. It's all infighting and being stupid. And so it would have been awesome, but there's a large portion of the country that doesn't want to do that. I would have loved to seen it open to a vote, right? But that's a pain in the ass, obviously, and it costs thousands of billions of dollars and all this other horrible stuff. But if I was in a place of power where I could have made that decision, I would have said yes, we boycott it, and I would have said like, I want us to be. And I think we at this table and San Francisco and yada yada are in a different place than the rest of the country, right? I do think we're not more advanced. That sounds really bad when you say that, but we're definitely further along in some timeline. Everyone will catch up to us eventually, but like, I
So
totally.
you're saying
look
we're better than everyone else?
No, not.
You're saying
Yeah,
we're
we're
decidedly
better.
more advanced human beings than the rest
Fuck
of the
you,
world.
Columbia, Missouri. No.
I would say that on this issue.
Yeah.
I would love
We're
to have seen
definitely
us
more
do that.
progressive,
I would love to
for
see us
sure.
take a stand on more stuff like this. Where you know what I mean? Like we
How
are
much of America do
wishy-washy
you
about
think
stuff.
agrees with that, though?
No,
Not
not the
much.
majority.
I think like every other issue, their issues 60-40 or 40-60 or 50-50
Yeah.
issues. They say that no matter the weakness of a president, for instance, right? Like the weakest of the weak presidents will never lose by more than 20, 15 points. I mean, that never happens. When Obama beat McCain by like 6.5 or 7 points, that was considered a landslide victory.
Yeah.
And that's not like a spread. That means like 53 to 46 or 47. That's not like a spread of 7 where it seems more significant than on both sides. Like it's small because there's like 40% of the people that are always going to vote Republican. 40% that are always going to vote Democrat.
Yeah.
Therefore, if you go party line, I'm a Republican, but I believe in gay marriage and gay rights.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people like us, but just assuming that's like 40% of the people that are always going to be against gay rights, and there are 40% that are always going to be for gay rights. I like the idea of doing it too.
Well, tell me this, Colin. I have a theory. It's my personal thing. Is that had the Republicans, and I think they kind of took a stance after this kind of realization after the election. If the Republicans were a little bit more progressive socially, they would just steal it, in my opinion.
Yeah, they dominate.
Hands down.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is what
we'll
we're
say-
talking about
yeah,
with
great.
the conversation with Colin, where he talks about changing Republican Party, right? Like, Colin's Republican Party, I would back, not across the board. I would wait on issue by issue, yada, 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 candidate by candidate. But the majority of the time, let's not spend more than we make. Let's not give away all our
Yeah,
money.
absolutely.
Let's not get in people's business about God, abortions, and gay marriage. And fine, totally. I'm on board with that platform. That's a logical platform. And this is one of the things that I always go back to, that politics are illogical, right? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Everybody argues, nothing gets done. They're all a bunch of children, and I have no faith in the system or them. But if this was what we're talking about, right? If it was educated people making educated decisions, compromising, it'd be a different story.
I thought, so my answer to this question is, the Olympics are about competitive nature and showing athletic capabilities and progressing, in that. So that's actually, I think, very good. And if we were to remove ourselves from this competition for these reasons, we're sending a message about that, but we're also like taking away from a huge part. So my initial thought was no, we're gonna tell them what's up. We need to be more progressive. You guys need to be more progressive. You need to be more accepting. But at the same time, I don't want you don't want to take away from people who, especially homosexual athletes who want to compete and who want to show pride and show, hey, look, I am the best. I think what we should do is actually train our athletes and also give money to other countries to help train their athletes. So it's be the point being, let's just fucking beat the Russians. Everybody, I don't care what country, but we make sure we beat Russia in every event.
That also brings up another good point, though, because there are people from Russia competing.
Yeah.
And that kind of puts a little bit of a dark cloud on what they're doing, right? Because, and that would suck, right? If America came out and said something stupid like that, which we never would, there would never be a policy set like that, and we would never be that crazy about anything. But that's not true. But it does suck because you want to go, and in the spirit of the spirit of the Olympics is that everyone comes together in this great, grand, pure sport. And no matter what the country is, we all send people to compete, and it's actually a really cool thing.
Jamaica could have a bobsled team.
They can have a bobsled
They did in
team.
Calgary in 1988. It's true.
Never saw that movie.
It's an amazing movie.
Good movie.
What?
Yeah.
Cool Runnings, man. Excellent film.
Don't like Olympics, so just did
Really?
not have any interest.
I don't
in
either.
it.
So
love
it's.
that
I mean,
movie.
it sucks, right? It sucks, especially imagine put yourself in this place like Russia. You're competing for the first time, and this is what everyone chooses to focus on, and it's. I mean, people they train so hard.
That's the
to
bigger
be
thing.
in these events.
That would
Harder
be
than anything I've ever done in my entire life.
that'd be the
times
hard
400,
thing. All these
not
people
even
who
close.
spend their lives, American athletes who spent the last 2 decades
Yeah.
getting ready to go to this, and then we have to flip a switch and be like, we're not going.
Yeah.
That sucks for them.
I think it's horrible.
And that's
But
my
maybe that's
stance
who I
on it.
let vote.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting winded holding this dog. So it's this is stressing out my biceps here. I can't imagine what everyone's going with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of standing together and being like, this is wrong, right?
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying in the sense that these people train really hard. We do have gay athletes. We have people that don't agree with the fact that we wouldn't go because of that policy, et cetera, and so on. The main thing that troubles me is that we can't. The IOC, the International Olympic Committee, precludes you from being political at the Olympics, right? You can't. If I won the Olympics, I would want to actually hold a "Don't Tread on Me" flag, not even an American flag, but that would be considered a sign of a political sign, even though it's not. It's just our original flag. And that's a loaded thing now. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say this kind of goes back to what I believe it was the German Olympics, right? Where when the black athletes won,
yeah.
they did the black power. Yeah.
So
So I mean that could be the thing here, right? As
Yeah.
far as if you're winning, especially if we can have homosexual athletes winning.
well, I'd love for us to be what, go fuck yourselves.
What
IOC, and we have when you drape yourself in the flag, maybe you put the flag down below and have a gay pride flag.
No, what we
Or
should
whatever.
do is make.
Can you imagine how crazy how America would go
No, could you imagine if someone made the gay pride flag
into
you
the outfits?
that'd be amazing too. Parachute pants should come back. No, take the American flag and just do it with the colors of the rainbow for gay pride.
Yeah,
See
I mean,
if
I
you
love
can
it. What are
fly
they going
that
to do?
bad
I
boy.
mean, what is the IOC
That
going
would
to
be
do?
awesome.
We fund most of their operation. We have the most gold and silver and bronze medalists.
I mean,
we
see, that-
we
50
regularly
rainbow
host the
stars,
Olympics.
man. That'd be
What
the
are you going to do
bomb.
And
about
see,
it?
that would be the thing
You
for
know?
me is by showing by not going to it, you're doing so much more as far as than just pulling out athletes. You're pulling out I'm sure like coverage, like why would anybody watch? Nobody in America is gonna watch it, and I have to imagine we're one of the biggest people watching this thing, right? Like you get all excited for it. And
I
it's
love
stupid.
the Winter Olympics. But
if like I don't know if
love the Winter
NBC wouldn't pull out, but their numbers would drop. There'd be turmoil just based on the amount of money. It would be such a great way to make a statement that we don't take this. But of course, we can't make that statement in our own country. So why try?
Yeah, it's true. I just like things aren't going well in Sochi. Like you hear everything that's going well. I was reading a piece in the AP today about how like no one is going. Like there are no foreigners there at all. I was really surprised to read that. Like there were people saying like there's no one here.
Michael Rosenbaum's going.
Yeah, Rosenbaum's going to see hockey, and I wish I can do that too. But like I don't like we go to this place and it's like you don't act like you're an American. Don't wear any American. You don't want. It's like what the fuck is going on here? Like it's an embarrassment. Like their whole operation over there is fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
And it's like Bush League shit. Like we should have just got the Olympics. Like we murdered it when we get the Winter Olympics or the Summer Olympics. And so I just feel like it's going to fall apart anyway, and Sochi's going to be looked back upon as like this embarrassment for Putin, which is awesome because he's an asshole. But like, I still feel like there's something to be said about these archaic things that are going on hurting people. Yeah, we have like anti-gay marriage laws in some states and stuff, but it's not illegal to be gay. And when they say things to us and they say things to gay athletes, and they said this, which is you're welcome here as long as you leave the kids alone. That's what they fucking said. Multiple times. And it's like, what does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? Isn't that weird that you would say something like that? And everyone's like, all right, well, let's go play hockey. So I agree. I hope we draw Russia, the United States hockey team. They will fucking murder that team. And we can take pride in that kind of thing about beating those teams. But again, it's against, maybe the Russian athletes don't agree with it either. And so it becomes this whole, a lot of those Russian hockey players play in the United States and live here. Yeah. So it's like, that's what's so funny about hockey specifically is that every one of those players plays in the NHL, and they're just going over to Russia to play for their home countries. Then they'll all live here for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I think it's a complicated issue.
Yeah.
Indeed. Tim, close out this episode of the GameOverGreggy show.
What was next?
Punch you in the face.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like
Mine went fast.
Yeah.
The pure one's gone downhill.
No.
Look at
His
him.
eyes-
Look at him. He's
his
drunk.
eyes
He's
are
punching
heavy.
Madonna. He's
No, I'm
swinging,
good, I'm
taking
good, I'm
swings at the.
I'm gonna go with what words don't you like?
Ooh.
And I'm not talking, racist words or like bad words.
Booger. I don't like the word booger.
There we go.
It's a
Not
gross
fan.
word.
Yeah.
Snot. I like that word.
Wait, you
What?
like it? That's not the
It's an
game.
awesome word. You call someone a little snot. It's messed up. I don't think there's a word in the English language I
I
don't
like snot either.
Really?
Well, everything has its place. Of course, not the ones that are a little more taboo or racist. I don't particularly try to use any of those, but I think a good booger joke.
Yeah.
Greg.
I'm not like gross. I'm like
A lot of people don't like the word moist.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that. That was the word I was gonna say.
Moist
One.
bothers
I say
me.
that to Cheryl all the time because it fucking freaks her out.
Moist.
I'm
weird.
like, the air is very moist today.
When you say it like that, it's disgusting. You should have heard that in my ears. It's you guys don't hear what I hear.
It's moist.
That just kind of
But-
almost knocked Portillo off my lap. You know what I'm talking about.
See, I don't
almost
like the
impaled him.
words. I
That's
don't like the
beautiful.
words ointment
Ointment.
Okay.
Oh, you don't like ointment.
or frog.
Frog.
Frog bothers me.
What?
But with
What is wrong with frog?
both of those words are the only words you can call those things. Like a frog,
You can call it a
that
toad.
little motherfucker's
Toad's
a frog.
a different animal.
Toad's-
than a frog.
Yeah, toad's not the same thing.
Like a frog looks like a frog,
Yeah.
But I don't like how they look. They bother me.
Frogs
That
are
word.
awesome, man.
You should
Oh,
drink
You
old
should
BF.
drink some more bourbon.
Well, real quick, what about moist? Is it what it stands for? The meaning behind it, or is
I
it just
think
the way
that
it
a lot of
sounds?
it has to do with a specific connotation of the
Yeah.
word.
So
Women don't like that. They don't like thinking about
going
that.
on that, there
At
is
all.
no word I like for a woman's nether regions.
Really?
None. They're all horrible.
No, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Not
that's
All
true.
of
horrible,
them.
I don't think. But
I don't- think
there's
so.
some of the meaner ones that like we're not even going to
no,
talk
no,
about
no.
because those are bad.
But
like,
even vagina is cumbersome and
I
scientific.
don't like that. And then like there's one that's like I've heard some middle ground on because some people are like, oh, it's totally cool, and I'm like, no, that's not cool. And there's some people that are whatever. It starts
is
with
it?
an S.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
No, I don't
No.
like that word.
That's
that
a
word's
no-no.
That word's no good.
S?
Yeah.
It was
Like,
a movie.
Oh, I see.
I'm not going to go from there.
oh,
But
oh,
yeah,
oh,
it's
oh.
not good. So that's not okay, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Me
I mean,
neither.
it's not like I would.
Well,
Yeah, I don't think
well,
it's.
the S one is like kind of a.
Because there's a couple
negative
S ones.
One.
Yeah, I guess
Kind
so.
of a derogatory.
Well, it's like yeah, like a lot of them have that negative
Yeah.
connotation.
Like vagina is not like actually I don't have a problem with like vagina at all.
It's just
so
clinical.
scientific.
Yeah.
Exactly, it's
Yeah.
clinical.
I think
Yeah.
it's part of
Doctor.
the
Same-
connotation that we have
another
with
thing-
it, kind of
Like
thing.
I don't like-
Sorry, continue.
Horny is another one that I just think stupid. It sounds childish.
It's 80s.
And so
Very
it's
80s.
like, well, I'm sexually aroused. Like, no, that doesn't work either.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this:
hot.
Do you? And this is prying. Feel free not to go too far into this, but like, do you ever make reference of that to your significant other? And if so, does it feel awkward? Like, do you ever talk when you start getting into the more dirty talk?
When I'm eating wings out there, like I'm
Is
also
that how you talk about
He's
it?
rubbing
I'm eating
barbecue
wings.
sauce on his nipples.
I'm gonna eat some of those honey wings, some honey barbecue wings.
I don't do.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about anymore.
Just read it.
No, Tim, I like the word frog, and I'll tell you why. Because without the word frog, you wouldn't have the word frogman, and frogman is badass.
I don't even know what you're
The
talking about.
frogman is the original Navy SEAL. That's what they used to call Navy SEALs before they had the word Navy SEAL.
Yep, that's true.
Back in the day, and I think we're talking World War II. When diving became a thing, scientifically possible, they would have these rebreathers, and guys would go, and they specifically had developed longer fins and longer bigger breathing apparatus so they could dive in and synchronized swim up to a boat, bomb it, get out. They were called frogmen because they looked like frogs.
So
They
how'd
had
they go
big
from
eyes.
frog to seals? And why wouldn't they go to something
SEAL
cooler?
is an acronym.
For what?
Ooh, this is gonna be a good one.
I feel like Colin should know.
It's
I don't
all
know.
the things they do. It's like
Is it explosives? I don't know. So I'll look it up.
look it up.
Yeah.
It's an acronym. I know that because when they spell it like SE, little A L or something like that.
Thanks to Family Ties, I know scuba, self-contained underwater breathing,
Breathing
apparatus.
apparatus.
That's a great
Wow.
episode.
That's awesome.
That's a great episode.
So yeah, so I love it. And there used to be a GI Joe toy called I think
The Frogman.
The Frogman.
He was a
And
gray.
badass.
He wore a gray wetsuit
Yep.
with a red chest piece with the Cobra logo on it. He came with flippers and like a harpoon gun.
He was the bomb.
Yeah, he was
And
awesome.
so,
I know
yeah,
exactly what you're talking about.
I just read about. I read all about this because I'm just fascinated by Navy SEALs, and I watch a lot of different documentaries about them. There was a great.
Sea, air, and land. It means.
There it is. Sea, air, and land. So SE, excuse me. So the sea, air, and land. SE. So yeah, they're badasses. But they used to be called frogmen. That was before they had. There was a while where they didn't even, they didn't tell you that Navy SEAls were a real thing.
So this is blowing my mind right now.
Yeah,
So there's a show on Nickelodeon in the 90s.
called Navy SEAls.
No, it's
Starring
called
Charlie
man.
Sheen and Michael Bean. Great film.
Oh man, this is so bad.
I did like that movie.
Kablam! It was called Kablam.
Yeah.
And there was a short in it where there was action figures, and one was super strong and super naked, and one was a
Okay.
Meltman. Meltman was his name, and he was one of those frog guys, but he was melted. He was one of the G.I. Joe frog dudes.
There
I'm
you
trying
go.
to bring up a picture of him.
Frogman was badass.
And they said
Yeah, it was
something
a
about Frogman, and it was a joke, and everyone laughed, and I didn't get it because I was dumb and little. But now, wow, this makes so much sense. But he was melted, Meltman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why we have waterproof watches was because of frogmen.
The frogs.
No, frogmen. They needed something to time their maneuvers together, so they needed to be precise, so that they'd go if they were bombing a ship or something, they'd know when the hell to swim away, and so that's why we have a lot of technology from them.
What do you guys feel about hoo-ha?
Hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha.
That's awesome.
For
It's
the
another
women.
dumb one.
For the
It
women
just
stuff.
sounds dumb.
Yeah, it is dumb.
Yeehaw.
I don't
support
really
that at
know.
all.
I'll tell you, I'm actually probably the worst at talking dirty to anyone, because I would use that
God.
word and it would just kill the mood.
Wait, who?
We weren't even talking dirty though. This is just talking. How do you
I'm
talk to
gonna,
people?
I'm gonna go over there and touch your hoo-ha. No.
Do you think it's something because
Awkward.
does penis sound better to us just because we've grown up with penises
See,
and dealt
I
with
feel
that
like there's
your
a
whole
lot
life?
of words for that are okay, and
This
some
is just funny.
the more innocent one, wiener. It still sounds weird to say.
Schlong.
Schlong, dong, even dick.
Dick
I
sounds
feel
fine.
like dick is the easy way to go. Like that's not nasty, and that's not like super scientific.
How do you word do you use to refer to it to
Mine?
women? Yes, when you're talking to a
to
woman.
wait to women to my own thing? It's
Yeah.
a wiener. I got a wiener.
So you
But
say, "Hey,
I
I
got
would
a
like
wiener."
you to engage in some sort of activity with my wiener." That's what you say.
How do you approach women?
I don't. I don't know how to do it. No one ever taught me this. I'm really awkward when it comes to dirty talk. I mostly just kind of move like an amoeba. I kind of come up on them and then just.
What is amoeba sex like?
It's really organic. It's sort of like that Matt Dillon movie, The Blob, back in the day. I don't know if you ever saw
That was a
that
remake
one.
of the original.
It was a
one.
remake of that one. I just try to work that into every conversation.
Okay,
Dude, there's so many awesome GI Joes.
that's what he's looking. Okay.
I was like, what's Colin doing over there?
Any
trying to
other
find a picture
words?
of Frogman.
Yeah. So
What do you
actually,
got?
I don't. It's not really a word as it is an ending of a word.
Okay.
Oh.
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 Needle, dirigible,
Ah.
falafel, That
Waffle?
the ul at the end of words that like it bothers me whenever
bothers your
yeah.
mouth?
Well, it bothers saying it, and then like whenever I hear it, it just doesn't like I just.
But I love the word dirigible.
The dirigible is a fun word. Dirigible.
Spectacle. I like spectacle.
Testicle. Another scientific one.
These are all good words. I like all these words. It's that at the end.
Colin, while you're going down that hole right now, who was your favorite G.I. Joe character? Quick.
Oh man. Firefly.
Whoa. No. Wow.
Channing Tatum.
Who played in the movie?
Did not like G.I. Joes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I hated G.I. Joe because
He was
it ruined
Flint. I think
Transformers.
he was Flint in the movie.
Flint. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
We're looking at
Is
pictures.
that who
now.
you thinking of?
Oh, yeah. That's him. That's one of the frogmen, yeah.
Cool. Great.
How you didn't like G.I. Joe? That's
Storm- one of the
Storm
That's
Shadow
inc-
was the
that's
best.
incredible
G.I.
to me.
Joe
Is that-
character
Anytime
by
there was
far.
the guy you were thinking of from the
Storm
Yes,
Shadow.
it was. But
The guy's
anytime
name
there
was
was a
Storm Shadow. Or
Transformers,
Snake Eyes. Storm
Storm
Shadow or
Shadow's
Snake
so-
Eyes.
that's so-
Snake Eyes was a badass
That's so
character.
trite, though, man. You know that's trite. Everyone loves Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow.
Because Storm Shadow was the best, dude. He was the bad guy you loved to love. You know what I mean?
What's Ballard showing?
Yep.
No one liked Flint. No one
What?
liked Hawkeye. Hawk, excuse me. Yeah.
General Hawk.
General Hawk. No one liked those guys.
I can't believe you. Wait, so Greg, you didn't like G.I. Joe when you were a
No.
kid? That's unbelievable to me. I was fucking obsessed with G.I. Joe
I
for
didn't,
years.
Army stuff never did it for me.
It wasn't even the Army because it's so fucking campy and weird. Like,
cool.
G-
It's so
like
cool.
you ever you remember G.I. Joe the movie, like the cinematic
yeah,
movie?
Serpentula.
The intro to that when they're fighting around the Statue of Liberty is like one of the fucking coolest things when I was a kid ever. I was obsessed with that. And I remember saying when I saw the G.I. Joe movie, the first one, which was the new one, which is fucking terrible.
Yeah, they made two.
I was I remember
They made two of those bad boys.
I remember I saw with Hillary, and I was like, wouldn't it have been funnier and cooler if they just accepted what G.I. Joe was, which was kind of like outrageous, and recreated that scene with
that
with
would've
like
been so
CG
cool.
and real. You know the thing I'm
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Greg?
No,
I'll have
not
to
at
show
all.
you this. This is like very famous like 80s cartoon intro. Like where the G.I. Joes are fighting Cobra like on and around the Statue of Liberty. It's like fucking so good. And I was like, wouldn't that have been awesome if they just opened the movie with that? With like the Joes fighting Cobra in New York City, like and like just
That would've been
Totally
amazing.
Realistic, serious.
Tweet that at whoever's directing the third one, because I'm sure they need some help right now.
But like G.I. Joe was just so good, like so colorful and so amazing. The good guys were cool, the bad guys were cool. But Firefly was my dude, and I really got that from my brother. Firefly was Cobra's explosives expert.
Yeah.
He dressed like a ninja in like gray and black.
I don't know if I remember Firefly. Hold on, let me look him up.
Yeah, that was my
I
dude.
just remember that he wasn't as cool as Snake Eyes.
And I remember he didn't come with much. He came with like a briefcase, like with his explosives and like a pistol.
I thought Firefly
That's
was one
cool.
of the Dreadnoughts.
No, maybe not Dreadnought.
Is anybody else here like an expert in how GI Joes like can be like how they're
With the rubber band in the
rubber
center.
band,
Oh, yeah.
the hook,
Oh, yeah.
What are
I
you
used to
talking
change mine.
about?
I have
Action
like
figures back in the day used to be held together by a rubber band through their core.
And a rubber band would eventually dry out and snap. So you'd
Yeah.
be playing with them, and they'd snap, and it would hit your hand. And then they'd
And then
just
you'd have
come apart.
you'd have a dude in two pieces.
And so every
I did
kid,
not
every
know
kid
this.
when you were a kid, if you had GI Joes,
Or
master the
Spider-Man
fine
toys.
art
Spider-Man did these too.
of going back in, and you'd wrap around these little hooks that held it all together. You'd like loop it through and wrap it, and then you'd stretch and wrap that final one, and boom, you had a brand new toy.
The other thing is like
Wow.
you could twist their torsos
Yeah.
a lot too, and then do it that way.
Yeah, and you could buy like the replacement ones. A little known fact about me is that Greg knows this a little bit. Is that like I'm a huge GI Joe nerd, and I have like 300 and something GI Joes. I have like from 1982 to 1994, like about 300 of them. And I was collecting them like into college. Like I'd go back on eBay every once in a while and be like, I'm missing this dude from the 1984 collection.
Do you still
or this
have
dude
those?
from the- Yeah, I have them in
Oh
my.
man,
in my
we're definitely playing with those later.
I have them all on Island. I should bring them back here. Every time I go home, I go through them.
Oh yeah. Wow, what an
Let me see.
obscure character to love. Is that Firefly?
That's a
No?
newer one. Yeah, let me see if
Hold
I
on,
can.
let me look
We
back.
don't have to do this on the air, but yeah.
All right. Any other words people hate?
Was it this guy?
No, you got nothing else?
Man, find him.
David Ballard, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. We
You
love
guys
you.
are amazing.
You should move
Yeah,
up there
thank
and be
you.
on the show.
Yeah,
more.
come
love-
back.
Well,
Come back soon.
Yeah, okay.
can't say publicly, but
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Game Over Greggy Show. Thank you so much for listening and or watching. Remember, once a week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends get in a room and go through random topics. Then Friday, we post the high-quality MP3 on GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com for $1. Then Monday, you can get the whole episode as a video for free on YouTube.com/GameOverGreggy. GameOverGreggy.com for short. It's been a pleasure serving you tonight. Until next time, keep on drinking bourbon. Oh, yeah, and go follow Polite San Diego on Twitter. Then make sure you go to see Eric Castro at Polite Provisions, 4696 30th Street in San Diego. Let us know what your favorite G.I. Joes are in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share. What don't you like about this guy?
I don't remember him at all. He looks
okay.
awesome. I don't remember.
Remember
Destro, another badass.
Remember, you're like 20 years older than Colin,
totally
so he's
remember
probably
this guy. I used to have this guy.
different GI Joes than you.
Yeah, I had them all.
Even that's kind of creepy.
So my brother's 11 years older than me, and I inherited his GI Joes when I was younger, from like 82 to 86. And then I started collecting them in like 87, 88, and we put our collections together. Remember, the 82 GI Joes had straight arms. Their arms didn't curve like this, and so those are actually really valuable.
Really?
Yep.
I only remember
sucked.
the ones I had. Just everything was kind of twistable.
Yeah, that only started
so
happening
cool.
in 1983.
Points of articulation.
Greg, were you trying to close it out?
I think we had totally closed it out, and then it just kept going. Portillo just
Transformers
farted
is better
too.
than G.I. Joe. Goodbye.
Ghostbusters is better than Transformers and GI Joe.
See ya.
Bye.